Hi, I'm Raymond, and you're listening to Insert Quest here. Today's quest is Base Raiders. This is run 4 of Heat 5 in our adventure base raiding campaign. This is the 5th adventure in our base raiders campaign, and this is part 5 of that adventure. If you haven't worked out the naming convention and the cataloging convention of our adventure-based raiding podcast campaign by now, well, you've come to the wrong episode. This is like episode 14, 15. We're going to jump right into it in a moment, but first let's have our players introduce themselves and their characters, starting with Mr. Mannix.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Ryan. You may recognize my voice from such podcasts as Ragnarok, if you are so inclined to listen to them. And if you listen to this, then hopefully you are. Today I'm going to be playing Amriel, who is a fallen angel who was summoned from hell by an evil sorceress before Ragnarok. She served as this person's, I guess, demonic bodyguard and muscle for maybe a few centuries. And then Ragnarok happened, all the superheroes disappeared, and now she has turned to base raiding, professional base raiding, in order to get her jollies and also become, eminently more powerful and make herself a cult of personality.
Brilliant. Alex?
All right. Hello, I am Alex, also from the Ragnarok podcast, which you should listen to as soon as you're done listening to this one. And today I shall be reprising my role as Greg. He is a hyper-intelligent alien nanoswarm made up of little itty-bitty particles that makes him look like a floating cloud. He was sent here as basically a first contact from his species to Earth. But en route, his species was enslaved, and so now he is base racing to get stuff to build he has a spaceship, but to improve his spaceship, which he can use to fly home and save his race. And if you stand inside of him, he smells like a fart.
I was just about to say that it's kind of nice how Greg has evolved beyond being characterized as smelling like a fart.
Nope.
But it's still an important feature.
Yeah.
It's not even an aspect.
It's just a thing.
It's just there.
Yep. And I am Finn, not from the Ragnarok podcast, and playing
kind
Yuri.
of ish from the Insert Quest Here podcast.
Yeah, after like 14 episodes.
Finn's another one of our adjunct professors to the stars.
Fantastic title.
Yeah.
And I am playing Yuri, who was once a professional motorsport racer, died in a horrific crash before Ragnarok, was resurrected into the machine body of a robot samurai by a evil villain in Japan to be part of his robot army. And post Ragnarok, sort of abandoned that military career and sought the thrills and spills of adventure racing again. But once you've been through death, just racing a 2-ton, 900 horsepower truck across warring states and giant sand dunes doesn't really seem to cut it anymore. So you've got to burst your way into
You need
abandoned superhero bases. Yeah. And so now he's getting his thrills that way. / trying to remember who the fuck he was before he died and became a robot machine.
Yeah, which has been coming
a clone body. Also dealing with that. Can't leave this body currently because not really sure if I'm going to be able to get back into it.
Yeah, indeed. So it's been a while since we've had you possess stuff.
Mm-hmm. I haven't possessed anything since I found Clone Hitler.
Yeah, since what was that? Heat 4? Heat 3? Heat 4? Heat 4.
Yeah.
Seems so long ago because this heat has been so long. When we last left off our adventure base raiders, our ethereals. They had a run-in with one of the other teams, two members of the Valkyries, who attempted to take Emriel captive, which she took exception to, and thus fighting ensued. They learned some things about the Valkyries and how their shit works and what the fuck they're up to, and then, went home. Now, there was some discussion of a barbecue with the other teams. Is that barbecue going to happen tonight, or will you do it tomorrow night, which will be your last night here, because then you've basically got 2 days left here, and you're not staying the night on the last day. Finn's messing with his microphone.
Sorry, should have peaked my mic while I did that.
It's alright. It's not that bad. I could hear it. I could hear it like...
I think we should do it tomorrow night, so it'll be like a send-off party.
Yeah,
Mhm.
farewell, last hurrah in the Hollow Earth.
Nice. Alright, so you head back to camp and rest then. Trying to recover from your various wounds, your rolled ankles, and your concussions. So what consequences, if anything, does anyone have?
Yuri still has a minor consequence of winded and a moderate consequence of King of the Blind.
Winded can go, and unless somebody does something, you're going to be blind for a little while longer. But winded can definitely go.
Mm-hmm.
Ryan, I think Emriel had some, didn't she?
Yeah, I had a minor consequence called Amriel's Hell, but I don't remember how I got that or what it was.
I think it wasn't hell, it was to do with your ankle. It was Emriel's heel, not hell.
Heel. Okay, so then I typoed that.
Yes, Emriel's heel
That one
can
sounds
go.
much worse.
Yeah.
Emriel's hell. There's a mild, there's a moderate or whatever. I believe Greg is fine, right?
I'm good.
Yeah. All right. Cool. So, does anybody want to try and fix Yuri's eye?
Yeah, I could do medicine.
Yeah.
See which of my skills that is. That
Given that I essentially have like a
science.
Yeah. So you guys
blade
get
Science!
wound down my head.
Yeah. You guys get back to camp, and the mecha suit, the bio suit that Yuri has, one of the eye lens things has been sliced open. Kind of like, and then you can see another eye peeking out from behind it, which is Yuri's actual eye. Although I suppose it's the body he's in's actual eye. And
Yes, the kind of
like,
yellow eye of my Oni face.
and there's like blood and pus kind of mingling in there, and it started to coagulate.
So Greg got a +5.
All right, so what does Greg do with his +5?
So Greg says, now, just a warning, Yuri, this might tingle a bit. And Greg extrudes part of himself into the cuts, and first breaks down all the, like the streaming, the blood and everything, all the pus that's on Yuri's face, and then literally just begins to knit Yuri's flesh back together.
Yuri, it's amazing. You can feel your suit's eye being regrown. There is a problem. It reeks of fart right now because Greg's inside your suit.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Inside all over my face.
It's just a constant fart smell. Greg, can you describe the notes of said fart?
Oh, it's very much a sulfurous rotten egg smell, with just a soupçon of burrito.
Mm-hmm. One of those like hot dense ones.
An
Yeah.
eggy burrito.
Yep. It's a breakfast burrito. Yep.
Breakfast burrito. Oh, God.
With maybe a chorizo breakfast burrito.
So greasy. Greasy farts in your face.
And Yuri's like,
Maybe I should.
I think maybe we should have the barbecue tomorrow.
Oh, has something happened to your appetites?
Yeah. Yeah.
I understand that sometimes biologicals can go into shock from injuries, and that could cause a loss of appetite. I understand.
Yeah, that's it.
Yep, shock. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
Well, Greg doesn't know he smells like a fart. He can't smell inside himself.
He's only vaguely aware of the chemical sense of smell from various particles.
He's only aware of everyone's reactions to him, and as far as he can tell, maybe everyone on this planet is just racist to clouds. That's why they all
They all
recoil
look
whenever he comes
distasteful.
by.
And now I'm thinking about how weird it is that we have two distinct chemical sensors. Smell
Oh,
and taste.
He does not taste like a fart.
It doesn't taste like it.
No.
But yeah, you just like made me think about how weird that is that we've got two distinct like sensory apparatus for detecting chemical.
My goal is to enlighten and entertain, so I'm glad that I've done at least one of those.
I got one for detecting light, although I guess we actually can detect light in a multitude of ways because of heat being light. But anyway, moving on. Fucking EM. So, fucking Magneto. So, you guys try and get some rest.
Before we go to bed, Greg is going to. I guess we're back at our camp.
Yeah, the water is boiling away as the angel heart sits there, glowing.
So Greg is going to go into the woods, not far, like a few feet into the woods, and he is going to find a flower.
Okay.
Greg picks a pretty flower, and then uses his assembly powers to like encase it in plastic to preserve it, and then like make a little box for it, and then he stores it away in the car.
All right. So, a kind of semi-invoke of your aspect, or compel rather, as you're sealing it in this like clear resiny box, you notice that the flower, like, it doesn't deteriorate, but it doesn't look the same. It's like through the act of attempting to preserve it, you have limited some of its beauty. It looks different. It still looks nice, but it looks different. It is not the same thing you picked up.
Well, it's not for me, so I'm the only one who would notice that.
Indeed. But, it's just a thought that crosses Greg as he is squirreling this away in the car. Tuck it up under a wheel well.
Get it in there nice and tight so it doesn't break.
It's a good thing that this is a scientific exploration under the laws of Iceland, because you don't want to violate international quarantine by bringing some fucking prehistoric flower up out of the crust of the earth.
Yeah.
Life finds a way. Yeah, I got it.
Okay, good. You got it.
I got it.
We all got it. It's fine. Yeah.
Yeah, we got it. Brilliant. So, Amriel.
Yes.
Where are you sleeping?
Well, we did get all that camping equipment, so maybe Amriel has a tent.
Yes, I believe you do have a tent. I believe you and Greg were sleeping in tents and Yuri was in a hammock?
Yeah, I feel like.
That sounds
Greg
right.
was just. I don't think Greg was in the tent. Greg was just like in the car.
I thought you went into your own tent to be more proper or whatever. Anyway, it doesn't matter.
Sure, whatever.
Anyway, Amriel, you're in your tent. So in the evening, well after you've gone to bed, you hear a rustling from the tree line. wakes you up, but it's sort of, it passes. And then you hear it again later. And then you swear you hear the car open, the boot, then you hear like scratching around in the car.
I think at that point I'm gonna slowly begin to unzip the flap of my tent and just peek out.
You see a strange silhouette. It's hard to. I just remembered it's not fucking dark.
Yeah, it's right.
Yeah.
Middle of the
You
day.
so you don't see a strange silhouette. You see Greg, because it's broad fucking daylight all the time down here.
All right. In
You
that
see
case,
Greg poking around in the car.
I'm going to finish unzipping the tent and poke my head out and say, Greg, what in the hell are you doing?
Oh, hello. I was collecting a sample of the flora and was just stowing it away.
Okay, is that? I mean, I don't really care, but don't you think that'll like shit up the earth if you're bringing all kinds of weird biological samples from this pocket of nowhere up to the surface?
I don't think so. I pull it out. It's a flower. It is completely encased in a incredibly dense plastic. It would be very difficult to remove. It's really meant to just be a decorative piece.
Like those insects suspended in shit.
Yeah.
All right. I mean, do you think you could store your biological sample a little more quietly?
Oh, I'm very sorry. I did not realize I had woken you. I'll be very quiet. Greg reaches up with one of his hollow hands and just starts to slowly close the boot of the car, but it's like the hydraulics, so it just goes really slowly as he pulls it down.
Amriel glowers at Greg and pulls the zipper on the tent flap down and just continues glaring at him the entire time.
30 seconds later, you hear dunk.
I hate him.
Amriel, it takes you a while to find your sleep again. And then what feels like maybe a few minutes later, but was surely hours. You desperately hope was hours, but it feels almost instantaneous. You're like, watch that those Icelandic hiking outdoors people gave you starts beeping, telling you that it's the beginning of the new day. It's the time that you guys set to let you know that it was quote-unquote morning, so that your sleep cycles didn't get all weird because it's constant daylight.
Those of you who are outside the tent hear the sound of like guttural, some kind of abyssal hellish language swearing, followed by the sound of metal crunching, and the alarm stops.
Great, you broke your watch. I mean, you didn't pay for it.
No, and it's the last day. I will need it, so...
Oh no, we're going to need it tonight, too.
Oh, right, okay, yeah. Well, one of you...
Amriel, why did you destroy your tent?
She didn't destroy the tent,
She didn't destroy the tent, just the alarm clock.
Oh,
Yeah, just...
I'm sorry, I stepped away for a secon. I apologize.
Oh, right.
It's an alarm on...
It wasn't like the alarm went off
watch.
and Amriel just like tears her tent open.
It's like the watch from Spy Kids.
Amriel kind of glances down at the remains of the watch in her clawed hand because she like tore the band and just crushed the thing, and she looks down at it and she looks back at Greg and she goes, I don't know, and she just holds it out. Can you fix that?
Let me take a look, and I will attempt to fix her watch.
Go for it. I'd say you don't really need to roll. It's just simple enough. It's not like a super tech or anything. You're not trying to build cell structures.
So I rebuild it, but on the band, there's now a stripe going down the middle. And I say, there you go. I gave it a racing stripe.
I was just thinking that when you said there's a stripe on it, I'm like, a fucking racing stripe?
Yep.
Is watch a racing stripe?
Does the stripe make it go faster? Because I'm not really sure that's something you'd want in a timepiece.
What? How would it go faster? It's a watch.
Is it a
never
red
mind.
stripe?
Never mind, Greg. It was a joke. Thank you, by the way. And she puts the watch back on her wrist. I was really hoping you were going to say that when you rebuilt it, the alarm just kept beeping.
I rebuilt it, but I don't know how to set the alarm.
Yuri, what are you doing while these two are talking about fixing watches?
I think reclining in my hammock, just like I don't have a hat, so I don't think I have a hat on over my eyes. But essentially, like lying there, maybe with like a.
There could definitely be a hat in our camping gear.
Yeah, indeed.
I feel like it's probably like the side of one of the Raiderade cartons, just like resting over my face to cover my eyes from the
cardboard over your face.
Endless glowing glare.
Yeah. If you didn't have the cardboard over your face, would you be able to see the angel heart from where you are?
Yeah, I think so. I'm kind of like on the side of the camp.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah,
and like I like peek, I like lift it up to like watch these two in their morning interaction of alarm clock.
As you lift up the cardboard, something like is sticking out of the corner of your vision.
Mm-hmm.
It kind of looks like a nebula. And as you turn to see what it is, it's the angel heart. It seems to be building a more constant field around itself since placing it in the water. So overnight, it must have gone through some kind of metamorphosis.
Wait, so what the fuck does it look like now?
So, because you can see into the whole EM spectrum and other things, because you can see...
I don't know if I'm wearing my suit right now, though. Because the suit's probably like... I feel like I take it off to go to bed.
All right. Well, that's a fair point. Doesn't matter then. You see the water has it looks like the angel heart has cooled down. The water isn't boiling as much. Would be what you notice with nothing on.
Okay. Well, that's fine then.
Yeah.
And I like yawn and stretch and swing myself out of my hammock. And I'm like, all right, what's for breakfast? Coconuts or dodo?
Either superfruit or bird. But we also need to figure out how we are going to transport that angel heart back, because we can't take the lake with us.
You made us that lead blanket, didn't you?
Oh, yeah, I did make a lead blanket. Okay, we can just wrap it up in that. Never mind.
The lead doesn't stop the heat.
That's true.
Like it eventually would melt. Lead has a pretty low melting point.
Yeah.
We should spend the day building a more robust container for it.
Yeah, I'm going to have to make some. So Greg's going to have to spend the day designing and building every type of radiation-proof...
water-cooled angel heart transference thing.
Basically, Greg's going to make a cooler and fill it up with a bunch of stuff to block radiation. That's
just make it... we've got an esky, don't we? Just like retrofit the esky.
Yeah. So...
Also, we need to clean up before our guests get here. It won't do to have a boiling angel heart right next to our camp.
That's true. We wouldn't want
People
anyone to
talk.
get. We wouldn't want anyone to get irradiated.
Or worse, they might think it reflects poorly on us as hosts. I've read on your internet that people can be very judgmental when coming over for a meal.
Of
Fuck
course.
those guys.
And you always want to impress your guests. Yeah, so I guess I'll roll Super Scientist to...
Yodel has suggested that you wrap it in osmium, which has a super high melting point and is also heavy as fuck.
All right, thank you, Yaddle.
We're definitely still going to need some kind of, like, I mean, I figure we need some kind of, like, heat dispersion. So that
Oh, you know what
the
you should-
metal doesn't just superheat and then light our car on fire.
Osmium with a vent. Ooh, yeah, its melting point is 3,000 degrees Celsius.
Oh,
It's pretty fucking high.
yeah. That's insane.
I
That's
just looked up
double
osmium.
the melting point of steel.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Can you maybe harness some of the waste energy, like turn the Archangel Heart into a car battery of some kind?
I was thinking this, that when we get it out of here, maybe we could harness it into an engine.
Oh man, an Angel
Well,
Heart powered car. Fuck
Mhm.
me dead.
No, if Greg's harnessing it into an engine, it's going into a spaceship.
That's right.
True.
Well, for
I mean,
now, I mean,
For now,
For
we
now,
don't
yeah,
need a spaceship
definitely.
yet.
Hey, you
Well,
don't
it's
need
our-
a
it's our
spaceship
Mr.
right
Fusion.
now.
Okay,
You
so,
need a car right now.
yeah, we do. So yeah, I guess Greg's gonna make an osmium container, I guess.
All right, so as you wade down to the water, Greg, you notice that the heart is giving off less heat because the water isn't boiling as much. That could be two things. One, it could be, producing less heat, but it also could just be that the water around it has risen to a temperature. But in order for that to be the case, it would have had to have reached equilibrium with the whole lagoon, which...
Tungsten was probably even better. Sorry, it has a melting point of 3,400. Never mind, continue. Sorry.
I mean, you could do an alloy. You've got
That's
the
what
power.
I'm thinking. I can. I could do a tungsten osmium alloy. It's gonna be the best thing ever.
I'm willing to believe you. Yeah, so it seems like it's probably giving off less heat, which may mean that it's probably stopped increasing its energy output, which was what it was doing before. It just kept growing in the amount of energy it was putting out. And it was just creeping upwards and upwards.
So it's not infinite.
Well, it couldn't have been infinite, but this suggests that it's decreased as well. Like it's reached a more stable temperature. Probably not that low. It's still,
Still
thing.
boiling the water.
Yeah, it's more of a simmer.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. It seems to have stabilized somewhat. So should I roll Super Scientist for its container, or is it for the whole hooking up to the car thing?
So what are you going to do for the container?
I'm going to make
It's gonna be made out of this. It's a box of this alloy.
an alloy box with a heat sink to vent out the heat, so it doesn't just keep building inside the box.
Are you going to use water cooling?
Yeah. There's going to be a whole water cooling thing.
All right.
Greg
so
will use the method that's most effective.
Yep.
Good. They're both effective. You want to double up.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want my fleshy friends to develop cancers.
Yeah. So
Or
you could
worse.
use heat sinks. You've got this dense box of metal, and you're going to have some water cooling. So you probably want like a what is the word? A radiator? A radiator? Yeah, a radiator. You want like you want the water to have like a radiator that it can cycle through. So as you've probably got like a container of water next to it. It feeds water into the box, and then the water comes out and gets cooled down. So nothing too fucking fancy. You probably will want to save putting the heart in it until the last possible moment.
Yep.
Because this is not going to be a solution that is long term. So you'll want to put it in there right before you leave. But go for it. Make me a roll to try and make sure all these things are engineered properly and that it's, all your safety margins are correct. Are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Is
Greg
Alex there?
Alex?
Alex? We got Ryan.
Yeah.
Hello?
Did you
Hello.
mute
Hello?
your microphone
Oh.
accidentally?
I must. There's a mute button on my mic, and I must have accidentally hit it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, right. I thought that my fucking internet had died for a half second because everyone was
I'm
quiet.
alone.
I heard you guys going, "Hello, Alex, where are you?" Okay, I got a +5.
Bro, fucking palpitations. Heart
I
palpitations.
wanted to build a suspense.
Brilliant. So yeah, Greg is sitting there, messing about with this box. He's assembling components and everything, and you guys are, Ariel and Yuri. I imagine you're eating breakfast and discussing, what are you guys going to do for this barbecue or whatever. And just
And I'm
as
like,
it looks,
maybe some skewers.
just as Greg is putting the angel heart in this box to test that everything fits, you feel a low rumbling all around you and in your bones, and then a sound like muted thunder.
Do I hear that too?
You all hear it.
Okay.
And it sounds like it is coming from... Hang on a minute, I wrote down the directions of all my landmarks. And it sounds like it is coming from... Oh, wow, I was right. It sounds like it is coming from the southeast.
What's to the southeast?
The south is where you guys entered into the Hollow Earth, and the east is the weird anthill termite
city.
mound
Okay.
city structure thing. Like a city built by termites is what it looks like.
Right, and the Russia guys were like, "Oh, you killed us all. They're going to come from that city." And
Yeah, well, unless you killed them all and more, you started a war that we'd managed to prevent for 60 years. You violated the fucktard's temple.
when you phrase it that way, I don't feel as bad about it.
Yes. But yeah, there's a low rumbling and then that muted thunder sound from that direction. And as you all kind of look over there, you see, in the distance, you kind of see, smoke, but coming in like a smoke cloud rolling out, but also it's like a fan blade, it's a tall blade of smoke, as opposed to the way you'd normally picture smoke or cloud rolling across the terrain, where it's sort of coming across like a blanket. This is like the prow of a ship rolling through.
Towards us?
Kind of, not at a great pace.
Yeah, but pointed in our direction.
Yeah, a spearhead of thick black smoke.
Looks like we're in for a change of weather.
Oh no! I hope the rain doesn't force us to cancel our barbecue.
The rain.
I guess I'll go check it out. Amriel spreads her wings and kicks off and goes flying in that direction, being careful to keep high enough.
Mm-hmm. So as you fly out towards it, you can see that it appears to be coming out of the rock wall, as if the wall had just sort of peeled open and this smoke is coming out. And as you look at it, it's blacker than a storm. It's like somebody turned road tires into a cloud. And you can see little like sparkling bits of something in it as it's rolling across the landscape. And it is roughly wedge shaped. So as the thin point gets closer to you, there's this triangular wedge spreading out behind it. So it's wider at the wall that it came out of. So it's getting wider and wider as it comes out, but it's getting wider at the end furthest away from you.
Okay.
And so it's kind of covering the that side of the, well, that section, not even side, of the cavern, the massive cavern that you're in.
Does the termite anthill mound thing, do I see like any bodies or body parts like that? That was an explosion that came from inside, I'm surmising.
No, it doesn't. It just came from the direction, like sort of cuts the difference between where you entered
Okay.
and whatnot. But you're not that close to it because this cavern is kind of the size of a island.
Right.
I'm trying
So
to think
it's-
of a comparable shape.
Didn't we say it was like Asia sized?
No. I was talking about the size of in Journey to the Center of the Earth. The cavern that they come into is the size of Eurasia.
Right. Okay.
This is not that big. I would say that this is probably like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of a comparable size that we're all kind of familiar with. I would say it's half the size of Manhattan.
That's
Okay.
not very big.
Indeed.
No.
Okay.
Because you guys can travel across it in a day easily.
Oh,
Like
okay.
walking.
I didn't realize we got like all the way across. I thought we just went a few miles. Okay.
It's not a massive cavern.
All right. Just to make sure I'm picturing this right. So you said that the rock wall, the cavern wall, has sort of peeled open and this blackish smoke is erupting out, but it's got like a spear tip, and where it's issuing from the side of the cavern, it's spreading out. But the
Yeah.
spear...
So
the-
it doesn't
the-
look like you only saw the hole that it came out of briefly before it was enveloped in smoke at that end, because it
Okay.
seems to be pushing out along the wall at the back of it, but it's still maintaining this narrow thing. So it's as if an infinite pizza wedge is extending out of the wall.
Standing on the wall.
And so the back keeps getting wider and wider and wider, even though the tip is still,
Right.
pointed and thin.
Um,
But it pretty much stretches from floor to ceiling.
I'm going to describe this over our comms. Guys, it looks like we got some kind of very unnatural smoke formation happening over here.
Oh, did it say hello?
No, it hasn't said hello or tried to eat me or assimilate my molecules, but I haven't exactly gotten too close to it.
Looks like it'll reach your camp in like a couple of hours.
It is definitely penetrating in the direction of home base.
Well, I suppose we should investigate.
All right, I'm going to fly in for a closer look. If you lose contact with me, Greg, you would know better than anyone else how to kill a cloud, but kill this cloud for me.
It is quite large, but I suppose we shall endeavor to try.
We sure will. But, be careful and try not to die as first priority.
Roger,
I don't want to
Roger.
meet you in hell.
I guess Greg is going to start floating toward the cloud.
Mm-hmm.
And
Put
Amriel,
the angel heart back in the water.
And
Amriel
Yuri's
is
going to hop in his
good.
suit. Yep. Cool. Amriel, you go.
All right, yeah. Amriel is going to kind of fly up to it and keep pace with it as it expands, but also like maybe try to blow a few stiff gusts at it with her wings, if possible. Like try to see if it reacts like normal smoke or if it holds its formation, or if it lashes out and tries to snatch me out of the sky or something horrific like that.
Brilliant. So you're you're flying towards the thing and you're trying to see what it's made of, yeah?
Yeah, basically.
So as you get closer, it becomes kind of clear to you what those little sparkling bits are that are in the cloud. It looks like glass, so probably it's like obsidian.
Okay.
So it's the cloud is like pulling obsidian with it.
Good.
But the tip of the cloud seems to be carrying more of it than the deeper parts of the cloud. So it's like the storm front is this rolling wall of black smoke and fog with obsidian, whereas the deeper parts of it aren't. So likely, as it rolls over your camp, you're going to be shredded with obsidian, but if you can endure that,
Then
That's fine.
yeah. The lava walls, like the walls of the cavern, do have that obsidian volcanic glass to them as well.
Yep.
So probably it's just because it ripped open the wall, and it's sort of carrying this cloud with it.
Yeah, like the perfectly normal reasons to have an
Yeah.
obsidian storm.
Perfectly normal reason to have an obsidian storm happens all the time.
all right. So, other than that, nothing else remarkable about it. Like something that would be causing the smoke to spread out in that weird formation, or hold its shape, or it's just a blender of flying rock dust or rock shards, as it were.
Indeed.
All right.
Nothing else too weird about the cloud. It kind of has a ozony smell to it. Bit like a regular storm would smell, but you don't see any like lightning. It might have like static in it, but not enough to form lightning, at least.
All right. You know what? If it the most dangerous part is the storm front, I think Amriel's going to try to dive into it and try to seal that fissure if she can, or plug it with something.
So you're going to try and seal the hole.
That it's coming in through.
Pretty wide gash.
How big?
I would say like as wide as like a few meters.
Okay.
It's a big rent in the rock wall.
In that case, I think maybe can I punch around at the edges of it until the rocks until it collapses into itself, maybe?
Yes. You could try that.
Let's see how that works.
For sure.
All right. So, Demon Warrior. Oh, good. +1.
Yeah, so you try to find a way through the storm or the storm front to get through the rocks, and the obsidian is a strong deterrent.
All right.
So you kind of smash into the storm wall and try to push through, but you get disorientated. There's obsidian tearing at your skin. It's a very abrasive storm. Do you want to try and push through it?
Not for the moment. I will veer off and then tell them the lead edge of this thing is just a whirlwind of, not a whirlwind, but a storm cloud of flying shards of rock that seem to have burst in through the wall.
Oh my!
It's going to cut everything in its path to ribbons.
We probably shouldn't be in its path.
Good call, Greg.
We should move our camp.
Yes. I mean, this whole place isn't that big, right? Is this thing just going to expand and fill the whole cavern?
Probably.
Yeah.
Cool. And our camp's essentially sort of in the middle of the space?
No, it's on the edge of the boiling sea, remember?
Yeah, but
It's
that
on the
nearer to a wall than another?
I guess it's nearer to the western wall, but between you and the western wall is the sea, the boiling sea, which is really a lake. It's just...
Okay.
Cool.
So there's this giant hole in the city wall, and this is coming out of it.
Basically.
Yuri's gonna get into his biosuit, which I figure it's predominantly stitched up at this point after I ate some crab and hung out last night.
Yes, indeed, it has repaired itself. It was difficult to take it off before repairing it. The suit kind of didn't want to open up until it was fixed. But once Greg fixed it, you managed to get it off, and now you're putting it back on.
Did you want me to leave a scar on it?
No.
Yeah, everybody likes a scarred eyeball.
Well, it'll be one of
maybe
those badass scars that goes over where the eye would be okay. It'd be like one of those badass face scars.
I mean, maybe Yuri has a bit of a face scar.
Just asking.
I mean, it would be pretty badass to have a biosuit that has a weird kind of scratch scar across its compound eye thing, and then when the suit opens, and Yuri has a corresponding face scar.
They match.
Aww.
He's coordinated.
I like the sound of that.
All right.
But I put the suit on, and I want to scope out this storm from the EM spectrum sort of thing.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly to see if it's particularly weird or if it kind of just looks like a big cloud of stuff.
Your suit bounces back to you some information. It's not picking up any inter-universe anomalies.
Mm-hmm. Yep, good.
Points out to you that the storm bears a resemblance to a sandstorm more than a because you've got the research trapping on it, yeah?
Yep.
Yeah. That points out to you that it, with the knowledge that it has access to, this bears resemblance to a sandstorm, but is oddly cohesive in shape, and seems to have an obsidian dust storm front.
Greg.
Yeah, I was about to say, does this look familiar to Greg at all?
I'm not deliberately attempting to evoke anything from Greg's homeworld. However, feel free to say that it does look like something that you've seen.
Okay.
Because you described hunter storms as being more like storms. So
Yeah.
But Greg, do you have any plausible explanation as to why this thing is so pizza shaped? It doesn't. Yeah,
Oh,
it's not. It doesn't look like a shape of a regular cloud.
Can I make a science check, I guess, to see if I can figure out what
Go
would be
for it.
this way?
Do that weatherman thing.
Oh, that's +2.
All right. Either somebody's violating the laws of physics, or it's a 1 in like a trillion atmospheric coincidence.
Someone's violated the laws of physics.
Or a 1 in a trillion.
I feel like Greg would list both options.
Yes,
Yeah.
Greg lists both options. However, experience makes me believe that someone is violating the laws of physics.
Yeah, more often than not, that tends to be the answer these days.
Anyway, we can
I miss
detect.
the good old days when it was just random circumstance, usually.
Right.
Those were the days. Is there anything we could do to stop it?
Violating the laws of physics.
We'll just make it spread more evenly.
Yeah,
I
let's
mean,
get some. We should get some shelter. I guess. Seems like
I
the
don't
thing.
know if. Well, I don't know if that's going to help. Like
Like a building, right? It's not
yeah,
gonna
no. I mean, I understand what shelter is. I mean, but we said this is just going to like fill the whole cavern.
Yes, but
Yeah.
only the actual storm front, the edge of the storm wall, is
Gonna
has the
shred the
razor
fuck
sharp
out of stuff.
obsidian.
Yeah.
The rest
Oh,
of it's
okay.
just going to be a weirdly black
Sandstorm.
Okay.
round. Yeah, it's going to be like you're in a black cloud.
Gotcha. Okay.
Yeah,
I mean-
so we should try and head out of the path of the storm front and find shelter
Someone
from
is
the
ringing my doorbell, and I don't
sandstorm.
think my roommate here, so I'll be right back.
That's all right. These guys can discuss which direction they're going to head.
Where were the structures that we knew nearby? Right, there was the weird compound that was towards the wall.
Yeah, so there's the
Is that in the
communist.
cloud now, kind of thing?
There's the communist bunker. No, but will be soon. It's closer to it than you guys are.
Yep.
There's the place you entered, which isn't really a structure. The only two like actual structures are the termite thing, which is fucking gone, like it's inside the cloud, and the bunker, which the Russians had, the Soviets have, which will be inside the storm soon.
Right,
you guys-
that's right. We met some communists, but there's also some Soviets. Was that it? Is there more than one group down here?
There is more than one group.
I feel like I forgot this. It's very strange.
So there's the communists, and they told you that some from their group broke off
Yep.
and took to the city of the ancient ones or whatever. And seemingly the reason had something to do with a religious dispute. So those people were worshipping the angel in the cavern, and so the communists were like, "No, fuck off! You can't do that. That's not what we're about, yo.
Oh, that's right.
We have a mission, and it is to protect this place for the glory of
And I
Stalin."
was gonna say, well, at least we haven't pissed off the Soviets, but we did. We have.
Yeah.
We probably piss them off more if they hear about it.
We pissed off the other Soviets.
Orthodox.
Cave mouth? Can we just go find a lava tube?
You could try and find a lava tube. They do sprinkle the edges of the entire cavern.
Should we warn the other teams?
I was going to
Jump on.
suggest that.
I feel like they might
Or-
have spotted it, but we should let them know.
Or
I
at
guess.
least the TKS Super Sports and the True Survivors?
Survivors.
When we say other teams, we always exclude the Valkyries.
Yeah,
Yeah.
always include the Valkyries
Okay.
unless otherwise specified. But yeah, you could jump on the radio.
I will do that. I'm gonna transmit on all frequencies, and I will say this is Amriel of the Ethereals calling all other teams. It seems we have some sort of anomaly has just broken through the cavern wall. It's some kind of black cloud with very violently blowing obsidian shards at its lead edge, and it's going to probably fill the cavern in the next few hours.
Yeah. You hear somebody shouting back in Japanese, strings of expletives, and then yeah. And then you hear the true survivors be like, "God damn boy, we don't understand you when you talk that goddamn Japanese." Japanese is a completely different language in our fucking universe, let alone the fact that none of us speak it.
Greg?
I'll translate what did whoever that was from TKS say.
Yeah, TKS, it's the whole fucking game. They're all screaming Japanese. They are, for the most part, fine, but they're screaming about, like, no fucking shit, thanks for the warning, it already rolled through our camp.
Oh.
So they've already endured the storm's edge, and apparently not pleased about it.
I'm gonna hop on it. I'll ask them in Japanese. Was the damage severe?
No, well, not to us. We just we lost our tents, but fuck it, we'll just sleep in the car for the rest of the trip.
I'll relay that to our team and the true survivors. So it didn't destroy their car. So perhaps if we pack our things up.
Yeah, but their car is made out of super.
Right, yeah, they have
yours is made out of steel.
Yeah, right. All right, yeah. So we should still seek out shelter.
Right.
And the true survivors probably should too, because they don't have a supercar, do they? I don't think so.
They don't have a supercar, really. They have a more expensive car than you, but yeah.
Right.
Not by much.
So we have a few hours?
You guys have maybe an hour and a half now.
Oh, okay. Okay, so I guess we'll try to seek out shelter then.
We going back to the bunker, or do we want to try for the other enclave of Soviets?
I think lava tubes for the neutrality.
Oh yeah, that's a good plan.
I don't think they're going to let us in the bunker.
I mean,
they didn't. They were pretty pissed.
They didn't exactly let us take the heart, and yet we still have it.
Well, they didn't so much let us as we threatened to kill everyone, including ourselves, if they tried to stop us.
All right, so Amriel's going to fly around and try to scout out some lava tubes.
So the difficulty
I guess Greg is going to start packing shit up.
The difficulty comes from it took you hours to move your car that distance before, because there's no road and you pick through fucking palm trees in thick jungle.
Right. Okay. Instead of finding a lava tube, can Greg make a box to put the car in?
I suppose you could. What is this box made out of?
Well, Greg just developed this great new metallic alloy. Super strong.
You have to, if you do that, you're going to have to synthesize that alloy, which is going to take longer because you're basically performing alchemy. You are turning other elements into that element. It is not an abundant material.
We could
strong.
dig a partial trench, I guess. We could partially dig it so the car can be
bury the car
level with full ground, and then we just put a roof on it. No, not bury it. Just dig a hole, and then we can
I could probably make quartz out of sand. Quartz is pretty strong.
And I'll
try and make quartz. Yeah, you could half bury the car in a quartz bunker.
This seems better because it's going to take us ages to get anywhere.
Yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna so Yuri start digging, and Greg is going to start making a quartz bunker. To
Yuri pulls a tiny camp spade out from the back of the car.
Yeah, you pull out your
flicks it out.
Yeah, you grab the E-tool as Embryo comes flying back from the lava tube.
Then I grab another one and I'm like dual wielding, and then just start manically digging.
Samurai! Musashi would be proud of your shoveling skills. It's like the baseball episode of Samurai Champloo where he fucking dual wields baseball bats.
Amriel just kind of bares her teeth and hooks her hands into claws and then starts burrowing the other direction around the car with her.
No, I think we should dig a hole and then
hands.
drive the car into the hole.
Into it. Okay.
yeah, basically without
Yeah, I gotcha.
dig a 3-foot hole, and I'll make a thing over it.
Yeah,
So
we'll just build ourselves an underground garage.
So
Yeah.
you did
Only
half,
the
I'll be
car's
doing
legs ended in actual claws instead of wheels. You could use the car to dig.
The car could burrow itself in.
If only we made the car a mole car for this run.
it.
Indeed, if only.
Oversight on our part.
Big drill on the nose.
Well, next time we go to the Hollow Earth, we know to make a mole car.
Yeah.
Turn it into Armadillomon. So, all right. You two make me athletics checks to dig real good.
All right.
And Greg, how's that quartz hill going? How's that crafting?
Let's find out.
We're crafting for speed as opposed to, it's not a particularly complicated structure. You're just aligning quartz.
The quartz is at +4, and I'm going to invoke my smartest cloud in the room. I'm going to make it +6 because it seems like it would be a good idea to make this as strong as possible.
You realize that it's faster if you assemble geodesic panels of the quartz and join them up after assembling them in the sand. So you're basically sitting on the sand and binding the sand together rather than lifting the sand up and assembling it.
Yeah.
You just flash solidifying a bunch of sand and then assembling the panels
I have
later.
this image because Greg has his hollow emitter. So there's a cloud sitting on the sand, fusing it into glass panels, which gets spit out, and then hollow David Bowie picks them up and starts putting them into place.
Yodel's still not convinced that this is not a sentient cloud that I'm throwing at you. He's asking, is he?
Fine.
Is he the smartest cloud in the room?
We're not convinced either.
I'm glad.
Well, you know what? It's not a room, so I am. I'm making a room, and I'm the only cloud in it.
Hey, maybe it's just not a very smart cloud.
Yeah. Rides the short bus.
It's kind of a dumb
It's an
cloud.
average intelligence cloud.
I'm an art history major.
It has a beret. You can't see it, but that cloud has a beret.
Obsidian Stormfronts is the cloud person equivalent of a beret.
I got a +2 with using my biodimensional armor skill.
Brilliant.
So
And
it's
Embryo,
physical
how
force.
well do you dig?
I got a +3 using my demonic warrior trait.
Brilliant. So you guys are just piling sand either side of you, manically, feverishly digging, and then you hear this kind of
And we're digging it far enough away from the lake that we're not just going to get it filled with water.
indeed. Well, you wouldn't have parked the car that close to the lagoon anyway.
Well,
and then
we
you
might
guys, then you guys start to hear this kind of clothing dragged across broken bottles noise, except deafening, as the jungle is ripped behind you, and you see in the distance kind of puffs of green as the leaves and shit are ripped apart. as this churning.
It's just like a moving like tree shredder.
Indeed, as it rolls across the jungle. It's getting pretty dang close. Your hole is, it could be deeper. Do you want to push it and keep digging?
Yeah. I'm trying to think of alternatives right now. I don't think so.
I will yell at Yuri. Get in the car. I'll keep digging. Get ready to drive it in.
Okay, I gotta get in the car. I'm like, if only we still had it like water sealed, we could just drive in the lake.
Greg gets in the. Did you say
Right.
Craig or Yuri? Sorry, Yuri get in the car, right?
Yuri.
Yeah. So Yuri gets in the car and then is gripping the wheels and you're looking at your hands, which are armored to protect from dimensional energy and gunfire, and then look out at Emriel, who's made of skin. And it's maybe one should have got in the car. But Emriel's also stronger than Yuri, so presumably can dig more. But,
There's a little wiggle room next to the car. Amriel can...
Yeah.
jump
I also get armor 3 from physical force, or wait,
I figured we were all going to hide in the car.
Oh, yeah, eventually. It's just that, Emriel's been...
I moved the car into position at the top of the hole.
Yeah. Ready to roll it in. Greg's putting the panels up. You see
kind
of a blue light flicker around the edges of these tiles as they're sealed together.
Yeah, I think we have a quick cut of Amriel furiously hauling dirt, and then Greg's assembling his quartz things, and then Yuri pulls the car up to the top of the hole, and then just winds up all the windows one by one.
In the rear view,
Closes the air vents.
In the side view mirror, Yuri, you see the storm front blocking out everything behind you, and just the rows of trees disappearing into this black, shiny cloud.
Is it on the driver's side, so it says objects of mirror may be closer than they appear?
Yeah.
Sure. Do you guys want to keep digging this hole?
How are we looking?
Could be deeper.
Oh, fuck. Yeah, I jump out of the car. Is there anything... We don't have any weird items. No, we don't have anything particularly...
Could I make more than one hollow projection from this thing at a time?
It's not. You haven't programmed it to do that, and so you would have to take the time to program that. Which as established at the beginning of the adventure, the thing has a few pre-programmed things.
Well, no, I know, but I mean, if I have Hollow Bowie putting the panels into place, could I make Hollow Nurse to help them dig at the same time?
It's not built to run 2 projections
Okay,
at once.
yeah, that's what I was asking. Okay.
You might have to modify it, do that.
Okay.
Something to do between runs, but why bother? We've got one last adventure after this.
Yep.
Yeah, you guys are digging. The panels are going up around the front. It's starting to look kind of sealed in. Greg has only got a few more tiles before he needs to start doing the part that the car is going to be at. So the car needs to go in the hole now, or it's not going in at all.
I think for this last push, I'm wait, no, Emriel, we just need to dig the tires a bit deeper so it can sit a little bit lower. So we just instead of trying to dig the whole floor out, we just quickly last bit dig 2 trenches
for the tires.
For the tires to get a little bit lower.
Nice.
And then I'm gonna jump in the car, and then pump the hydraulic suspension down as like low as it could go.
Yeah, so you like sort of curl the knees of your
Mm-hmm.
car because the car has if for some reason this is your first episode or you've forgotten what the car looks like. It's like a muscle car with four like metal spider legs extending off of it with wheels on the end. So
Yeah, I imagine
Yuri's
them
kind
as
of
like
bending
like
the leg joints so that the car sits lower than it would normally.
yeah, they're like hydraulic arms, essentially like you have on the back of a digger or whatever.
Yeah.
But one for each tire.
So that you can do crazy
we, like,
jumps and shit.
Yeah, so we lower the car down, and then I guess I'm assuming here that it like scrapes in, like the roof is like across the top of the court's roof.
You get in, and the Greg like starts slamming the tiles over the back, and the last one goes on and is like right up against the bumper. The last like bunch are right up against the bumper, and then you just hear, it's like a hailstorm. If hailstorms were full of teenagers throwing glass bottles at police cars. What it sounds like. It's just this constantly smashing noise.
And we can kind of see it through our smoky window quartz roof.
Yeah, your yellowed quartz. And it's just kind of, at first, yeah, you just see this wave sort of wash over the car as you disappear into this blackness.
Greg has a panic attack.
I'm not fucking surprised.
Greg was focused on his work, so we couldn't really see what was happening. But as soon as that last panel goes on, and like he sees so the last panel goes on, and goes, phew, just in time, and then the storm hits, his hologram disappears, and he curls, and Greg just like smokes down underneath the car. He digs himself under the car, and is cowering underneath the car.
Meanwhile, in the car, Yuri like reaches under the driver's seat, pulls out a tiny camp stove, a small pot, and a packet of popcorn. And he's like, "Popcorn, Ariel?"
Sure.
It's excellent blackout weather.
Amriel looks at her filthy hands and like just sort of wipes them off on her clothes.
Well, it's sand. You've got black sand on your hands.
I like crack the window, and I'm like, "Greg, get in here."
There's no response from Greg.
He's just around the bottom of the
then
car.
I'm like,
if there was a crack in the sand somewhere, he seeped under. He dropped his hollow generator that he was keeping inside of him. He's basically like a dog hiding under the table during a thunderstorm.
So the sand that the car is sitting on is looks like there are wisps of Greg rising up out of it.
Yeah.
And briefly like, did Greg? When I wasn't watching, but when Greg put the last tile on, did he put it on from the outside or the inside?
I think from the inside.
I mean, he's a super intelligent cloud, but does he have common sense? Hang on, I gotta check. Yeah, and I like
you try to open the door. Just thunk.
Yeah, I open the door and it's got like 3 inches of clearance to the wall.
Yeah, so it hits the sand wall and the top of it scrapes this quartz tile.
Then I'm like, Greg, are you in here?
Yes.
Oh, like looking down under the car and there's like a tiny purple fog. Oh, Greg, get in the car.
Close the door. Close the door. You're breaking the seal.
Get in the car.
No, I'm safer here.
What if the window breaks?
Then
I've closed all the air vents. It's fine.
It'll go for you first.
What?
Perhaps Greg thinks this is one of the hunter storms, like He's worried that it is a sentient cloud here to kill it.
Yeah. Well, hunter storms aren't really sentient. They're sentient in the way sharks are.
Yeah, I mean, sharks are pretty smart. I've seen Deep Blue Sea.
Oh, well, yeah, okay, that's true. Yeah.
They can work out how to flood submarine bases, so, you know.
Yeah. Those were hyper-intelligent sharks.
They were genetically engineered super sharks that were trying to fight cancer, so...
Alzheimer's.
Alzheimer's, yeah,
No,
sorry.
curing Alzheimer's.
Yes, and Morgan Freeman was there, and so was Tom, and so was
Samuel L. Jackson.
Oh yeah, Samuel L. Jackson is in that. Sorry, not Morgan Freeman. My bad.
Anyway, Greg is terrified.
He goes on a rant about the dangers of making sharks smarter, and immediately gets bitten in half by a shark.
Yep.
I'm like,
where Greg is from, this is death. This is like Greg's instinctual genetic fear.
I turned to Emily, I'm like, Greg doesn't want any popcorn. Also, he's terrified. Anyway, get in the car. And he feels safer because he thinks the storm's going to eat us first?
Get in the robot, Shinji.
Do we really want him in the car? I mean, he does kind of have that odor.
I mean, yeah, but like he'll be safer in here. I don't want the quartz window to break and then Greg gets dissipated.
Maybe if I make him scared worse of being out. Okay, I'm gonna intimidate Greg.
He's like,
just as you're about to intimidate Greg, your radio cracks. You hear a voice come over it. An old man is like, Mysterious, are you alright? You hanging in there?
Is this one of the true survivors?
Yes.
Right.
It's probably Vincent. Victor? Vincent. What are those names? Hang on. Where's the primer?
V.
Vic.
Vic.
It's neither Victor nor Vincent. It's Vic.
I pick up the radio. I'm like, yeah, Vic. Yeah, we're all good. Greg's not having a great time, but otherwise, just hunker down.
We're at the camp, the military camp, the bunker. We hauled ass. Figured they had protection.
How's that?
What?
How is it?
You know, it's all right. Food's not great, and the company's subpar, but
maybe don't mention that you're pals with us.
Yeah, they're not too fond of us over there.
Good to know. Yeah, apparently these things come through every few months.
All right. Well, at least it's a not entirely unusual occurrence.
Yeah, but apparently,
yeah, Greg, this happens often.
Apparently, it'll be black for the next few days, but that obsidian shit will slam into the firewall and be gone.
Well, that's just dandy. So much up for good barbecue weather.
Well, I mean, you know, it's better than constant daylight, I suppose.
It's not.
Well, it's a change, is what I meant.
You
guys are gonna have a barbecue?
Yeah, no, we got Santa kebabs. We're gonna have a farewell barbecue. It's such good weather down here by the lake.
Well, you guys are up near the lake.
Yep.
We were camping on this river. Some weird, like, kind of crustacean fish in there, like armor-plated fish.
Oh yeah,
we met some just giant crabs.
Oh, giant crabs!
Yeah, and some giant birds.
You want to manage your giant crabs, you know. You don't want to pass that on.
Yeah, see, that's too bad. You could have bought the fish.
I had a case of giant crabs when I was in Cambodia. Right before the reclaiming of America.
All right, Vic. We'll talk to you later.
Well, I mean,
think
if
he's
you
like
guys
still waxing lyrical about his giant
if you
crab.
guys still gonna have that barbecue.
Yeah, we'll keep posted.
All right. Well, yeah. Just wanted to check in.
You and TKS, none of those Valkyries.
Yeah. If anyone's wondering, Alex is fine too.
That's good to hear, Vic. I'm happy.
Well,
And if Alex is wondering that Amriel doesn't have giant crabs.
well,
Amriel shoots Yuri death glare.
And Yuri gives her a grin and hey, I got your back kind of nod.
Well, I'm gonna go quiet for a spell. There's stuff that needs doing. And then the radio goes dead.
So you were going to scare Greg into getting in the car?
Yes, and now I have some fury that I can transmute into that task. Let's see how easily clouds scare.
What's your So I have resolve, which I believe gives me willpower to resist, but I have it at mundane. So what is your intimidation at?
I have menace at ascendant tier.
So do you roll that with plus 3d6?
I guess I do.
Brilliant.
One fate die. 1, 2, 3d6. Greg, get in the car.
Hey, I got a 2. All right, don't go boss me around until you tell me what you got.
11.
Power tiers are fucking broken.
You open the door and say that, and then there's just the cloud, like a wisp, just filter, just fills in until.
And it smells like somebody farted in here.
Yep. But now we're higher up. It'll be easier for it to see us.
Amriel closes the car door and says, "Greg, shut up."
And I'm like, "Have some popcorn, Greg."
Greg just sinks into the bottom of the back seat. If clouds could tremble, that's basically what he's doing.
I just sprinkle some popcorn over the back seat.
And Uzi.
Greg does not take any popcorn.
Just sits in his cloud.
Just slowly.
Undissolved. And a
few
minutes later, the breaking glass and shredding tree noise slows to a trickle. And then things stop pelting your quartz tiles. It's probably about, 20 minutes of waiting in here until it was done. From the time it slammed into you to now.
Mm-hmm. Does it once the head of the storm clears, does it seem tolerable, or is it still pretty severe?
It seems for the most part fine. You could crack one of the tiles and go out. Or undermine the sand wall.
I don't know. Do we feel like going anywhere, or are we happy in the car for a while?
It's just the quartz tiles and particularly see-through.
Yeah.
Holding a piece of quartz in my hand right now. Not exactly
a window.
Yeah.
Well, was your quartz made by a cloud?
No, but I don't have that as a source anywhere on the planet, so I can only go on what I imagine.
Yeah, all right. We'll crack. Well, Greg,
Yes?
can you pop out and check what the weather's like?
No.
No.
Oh, for God's sake. Amriel opens the car door, and she's going to go over and...
Except
You
it's got
open
like
You open
3
the car
inches,
door like 3 inches as it hits the sand wall and the quartz tile.
and I'm like, I'm gonna have to suck it in, Amriel. Instead I just like wind down the window. And I'm gonna like try and poke out one of the quartz tiles.
I thought we had a little more space than that. All right, so yeah.
No. If you had more space than that, then like, why were you working so hard on the?
Yeah, true enough.
Yeah, I wind out a window and like poke out one of the quartz tiles. Just punch through it, I guess.
You have super strength.
Yeah, my bio armor has superhuman.
All right, so you punch the quartz, and the tile cracks along the seams, and pops out and flies into the water.
Good.
No! What are you doing?
Just breaking the seal, Greg.
And it's like a black fog. Like you see it kind of streak in, and it sort of fades to nothing, like smoke from a match. Almost like the only reason it's visible as this black smoke is because of how much of it is outside.
Mm-hmm. Seems all good.
It's kind of like it's kind of like an early morning, like a daybreak fog in that.
Yep.
As if you can't see the light or anything, but it's not dark. It's like what's another way to describe it? I'm thinking of all these movies that you've probably not seen.
Is it like Dante's Peak when all the ash is filling the air?
You know what? That's a good enough example. So we'll go with that. I was thinking of there's a bit in the beginning of Plunkett and McLean. But yes, that works. It's like in Dante's Peak, sorry. Dante's Inferno is a different thing.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's probably smoke in hell too.
Probably.
Yeah, I'm like the worst of the storm's passed. Should be all good. See, Greg?
I'll wait to see if it devours you first.
Okay.
Are you gonna punch out more?
Yeah, no. Greg's like, I'll wait to see if it devours you first. I'm like, all right, Greg. And then I just put the car in gear. And then just drive it out through the wall.
So you reverse up the ramp.
Mm-hmm. Just
so you smash into the quartz, and the car doesn't go anywhere. And then you drive it forward like the foot of space you have, and then you reverse it as fast as you can. And after a few tries, you smash through the quartz, and all these quartz tiles are collapsing and falling on the car as you reverse and climb up out of the sand. And you're in this.
I must have like pull a handbrake turn just for the sake of it.
Just for the sake of it, sand goes flying, and you're in this black, dark cloud of a jungle, and all the palm trees look like all of their leaves have been hit with a weed whacker, or a whipper snipper, as we call it here in Australia. So, like, the leaves aren't all gone off the palm trees, but they all look like they've been, like, sliced and slashed apart.
Yeah.
And so they're less big umbrella leaves and more like dangling ribbons of green.
And I, like, with my arm hanging on the, like, arm resting on the windowsill with the window down, I lean over back to Greg and I'm like, see? Not devoured.
You like to poke fun, Yuri, but how would you feel if you were surrounded by a herd of lions?
And just as you say that, a herd of lions erupts out of... No, there's no mammals down here.
Damn it.
And I'm like, you know what? It'd be an interesting experience, Greg.
Yes, well, where I come from, things very much like that cloud that just went by are the apex predator of my planet that have devoured numerous clouds. So, excuse me for being a little frightened.
Your excuse, Greg.
Greg gets out of the car.
I don't know.
Greg slithers past Yuri.
It's interesting that you're not the apex predators in your planet. I mean, like, it's funny that you got so far, you know?
Ooh.
My species is vastly different from humanity. We have no creativity.
They're also apparently cowards, Yuri.
Sort of taking note of this.
I guess now we know why it was so easy for them to be enslaved.
But I'm like, well, I guess.
Ooh,
I
boy.
guess that's why you have to save them, Greg. You're the only brave one.
I'm, as far as I know, the only one. It's something I've been mulling over. If I were to, there are no individuals in my species. As far as I know, I am the only one.
You're the only brave them.
It's not a matter of bravery. It's nothing as simplistic as that.
You got all the balls in the division.
Never mind.
You're like the hero in a Western, Greg. You fight for civilization, but you can't be a part of it.
You'll always be a lone rider.
Rider of the storm.
The problem is that if I save my species and rejoin with the cloud, I die. To put it in terms you could understand.
Do you die?
Yes.
Oh.
Why
don't you just build yourself up into your own collective, like what Persecutor did?
Hopping out of the car, I'm like, well, look, Greg, talking from experience as someone who's died, I don't think it's worth it.
But what if your death would save the lives of everyone?
Well, didn't you just say there's not anyone?
It's my entire species, though.
Yeah, but your entire species is one person, one entity.
No, my entire species is a collective.
Is two entities now. So feasibly, if you survive, then you're 50% good.
You don't know how many war zeppelins his people were divided up into.
That's true.
Perhaps there'll be like a period of reassimilation where every cloud is like PTSD'd and individualized.
I'm just saying, Greg. Maybe once you've done this whole crushing the war zeppelins or raising the hunter storms or whatever, the Zikrak, then I don't know. Maybe you should think about not reassimilating.
I feel like Greg people should try and domesticate the hunter storms, like humans domesticated dogs.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Trained hunting storms.
Yuri, that is something that I have been considering. I do not believe I will rejoin with my Gestalt when after I liberate it.
Yeah.
If I were to rejoin, all my experiences would be absorbed into the cloud and distributed amongst it. I would be torn apart and rendered inert. It is not something that I...
It sounds less and less good the more you talk about it.
Yeah, it sounds like a no-go.
I don't think I'm not really.
Ariel,
keen
would
on
you like a compel?
meeting your in-laws?
Sure, I will take a compel.
It sounds like someone, like Greg has been brainwashed by his time in the collective, and that he was enslaved. That he is a master. That the collective is a master, and that he is an individual and that it sounds so much like what G-Dog did to you. You know, and then Mr. L fought for your independence and your workers' rights. You know, you unionized. You know, God is strongly anti-union.
Sounds that way. Listen, Greg, you're
religion is the opiate of the masses.
I would argue that opiates are the opiates of the masses.
Well, these days, yeah.
Yeah. Opioids, anyway. Greg, you're so caught up in rescuing your people. Don't you think maybe it's better off that you were split off into your own person? I mean, you've met us. You've had all these experiences. Are you going to really save these other cloud bits that got themselves captured and then sacrifice everything you've got to rejoin them?
I don't know. That's what I'm talking about. I definitely
can't go back in the Matrix.
Yeah, exactly. I want to save my people, but I don't think I could rejoin them. I don't think I would be one of them anymore. And
would they let you not there?
Well,
I mean, isn't that not how?
It's hard. It's hard to describe.
Is there precedent for this?
Aware of, but the cloud, it acts in the best interest of the cloud. It decided that we needed to leave our planet because the hunter storms were too dangerous. So it designed ships to send bits into space. It was the first time that we had broken off like that.
Doesn't that mean that there would be others? Did it send anyone else off?
Greg doesn't. I guess he would. Yeah, there are others, but they're far, far away in other planets. So as far as Greg knows, he's the only one. There's no guarantee that those ships ever made it anywhere.
You could form a new individualist collective.
We could, if they're up for it. Basically, I'm basing Greg's collective off the shapeshifters from Star Trek DS9.
That doesn't help me, but I do actually vaguely know what you're talking about.
Basically, they had a giant goo puddle, and if they needed individuals to go out, they would just spawn off an individual. And when it was done, it would come back to the goo puddle and all of its like memories and everything. So it was basically multiple shared consciousnesses floating around in a goo puddle.
From the chat, would Greg's desire for individuality be transferred into the entire cloud?
I don't know.
These are interesting questions.
I don't know.
Right. You rejoining the cloud might contaminate the entire thing.
Yeah.
And then the cloud might seek out individuality, so it might not let you join for that very reason.
It's like I said, Greg, like the hero in a Western. You can never go back to the civilized world, and yet you are its only representative in the Badlands.
In these here parts.
I'm going to have to watch some Western movies to see if I understand that reference.
And just as you are wrapping up that, you feel communication on the radio, Greg. You're connected to all those bands. You can feel TKS reaching out to you.
All the wavelengths.
Hello.
Yeah, are you guys having a party?
Oh, yes. Greg looks around. Yes, the barbecue is still on, isn't it, team?
Hey,
yeah.
I mean, I'm down as long as we can. I mean, breathing in this shit is.
Well, you got the masks.
No, yeah, that's right. We do have the masks.
Yeah.
All right, so we're good then. Awesome.
Yeah. Then the barbecue is on.
Well, we just got to finish up something, and we'll be by probably at like 7.
Sure.
Our thing is on the way to you. So we'll
All right,
see
well-
you then.
Thing? Wait. What?
They're doing a thing.
Everybody has secret objectives, remember?
Oh,
Yeah.
our thing. Okay, I thought they meant they're sending a thing and it is on its way.
Things
No,
on
they-
the way.
The thing
Yeah,
that
what-
they're doing is on the
Wait,
way to it.
what?
Gotcha.
Yes. Their objective is between you and them.
Yes.
And so
Alright, I
they
got that
will
now.
accomplish their objective during their transition to your current location.
Sounds good.
All right. In that case,
So we have to get ready.
yeah, Amriel's gonna start marinating the bird meat, I guess.
You've eaten all the bird meat. You only have jerky left. You'd have to catch a new bird.
Yep.
All right then, shall we?
You could also catch for a new crab.
What do we?
You go
We are right by
giant
the-
crabbing.
What do
Oh,
we
how's
prefer?
the angel heart? Is it still floating in the water?
Yeah, it
Turn away,
didn't get consumed by the storm or anything.
Good.
The storm and Angel Heart were not connected by anything other than dramatic tension.
What do we feel like, chicken or fish?
Shellfish.
Well, it's I say crab.
Very
All
well
right.
then.
I guess I will go hunt us up some crab. Or wait, maybe those crabs were kind of difficult to hunt up, if I remember correctly.
Surprised you. You might be able to prep. I don't know what your hunting strategy is going to be.
Just fly until you find one and then drop something heavy on it.
Like a Buick.
Or
Or
pick it up
it's-
and drop it on something.
Hmm. That would be harder. Although you've got super strength.
All right, so I will go hunting for some crab.
All
Go
right.
catch some crabs, Emerald.
Go drive off a cliff, Yuri.
You're not going to have bird and crab?
It's BYOB. Bring your own bird.
All right, so as
Yeah, we have salad and seafood covered.
as I
You don't have salad. You have fucking honeyed vinaigrette coconuts.
Yeah, that's
It's not
all we
a
got.
salad.
It's
It's
a
all
fruit
right.
salad.
It's a single fruit salad.
It's a start.
Man,
It's a
salad.
whole food.
Fruit salad with honey could be interesting.
It's a complete salad.
it is.
All right, so describe to me your hunting scene.
So Amriel flies around, sticking close to the lagoon and its less boily tributaries, searching out a crab. And when she finds one, she attempts to lure it toward shore, or at least out of the water enough that she can pick it up.
So you see a smaller crab than the one you saw before. Not much smaller, maybe half the size. And it's got kind of purple dots on it, and it seems to be moving from the what is that word? It's moving from the lake, the sea, into the lagoon. So it crosses the little volcanic sand beach and wades into the lagoon.
All right. In that case, Amriel is going to maybe. How heavy are the trees?
no more or less heavy than a palm tree.
Okay, so probably not terribly heavy. Are there any larger rocks around?
That you could drop on it.
Yeah.
Nothing obvious. There's no like boulders. You're not in the highlands.
All right. In that case, Emriel is going to swoop down on it like a bird of prey, pick it up in her talons, carry it as high as she can, and then drop it.
And they'll shred her boots. All right. So make me a flight check because this is a precision maneuver.
Okay. That would be +4.
All right. So you grab it by one of its claws, which you actually get your talons around as opposed to its shell, and lift it, and then you drop it.
Hopefully from a height that is significant enough to kill it.
Yeah, you start flying up through the blackness, and you see like some faint yellow orbs cutting through the smoke as this cloud, the cloud, as the crab is trying to like snap at your legs with its other claw. You keep flying?
The orbs would be the weird glowing structures on the ceiling, I'm guessing?
Could be something else. Could be Foo Fighters.
All right. In that case, I will go just a little bit higher. But
Yeah,
but
you're
slow.
about to slam into the ceiling.
Yeah. And then drop it.
Yeah, so you drop the
Went
crab and dive, and the crab smashes on the shore a few hundred meters from your camp. So the other two at camp just hear a thump and a crunch, like somebody stepping on a plastic toy.
And then over the radio, I found dinner.
Excellent.
And then I will carry that sucker back to camp.
You are like a seagull.
Mm-hmm. It's a bit floppier now because like parts of its shells have cracked, but you carry it back. And yeah, it's orange and white for the most part, with these little purple orb things, like egg shells almost in shape around it. Most of them on its underside, but a few on like the sides and top. And as you're looking at them, they appear to be exactly that. They're eggs. They're little crab eggs. These crabs their eggs must kind of bud on them. And then they wade into the cooler lagoon water for them to hatch so that they don't boil alive when their shells are still a bit softer. So it was getting close to hatching its young. So you could do deviled crab egg, I guess. Or something.
Delicious. First, I'm going to consult with Greg and make sure we can actually eat the crab eggs. And, there's not going to be some kind of a weird hormone or something that...
Well, it shouldn't affect your third nipple, so you should be all right.
And I'm not going to fly into a killing rage.
No more so than usual.
All right.
Brilliant. What other preparations do you guys make? I guess you could turn your car pit into a fire pit.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, make like a spit rotisserie and
Well, I
Get a
didn't
giant
spit
chicken.
roast the crab. I think you'd want to steam the crab, so
No, you can cook the crab on the coals.
that too. You could wrap it in.
yeah, have an old fashioned New England clam bake.
Fuck lobster.
I said clam, not crab. Yeah. Anyway,
Did you just want to get a giant bird as well?
Couldn't hurt. Well, I mean, it could, but
I mean, it's probably your last opportunity to hunt and eat a giant bird.
True. Let's go get a giant bird.
all right. Well, I got the crab, so I'm gonna give you the bird, and then I flip Yuri off.
And I like catch it and then hold it to my heart, and I'm like, "No, thanks, Amriel." And then walk over to the forest.
With your sword and your
Mhm.
demon suit. So you're walking deeper into the jungle, and after a while, you're sort of daydreaming to yourself and going over thoughts of the past and whatnot.
Mhm.
Then you see your family. Your husband and your wife, and your various scores of children and grandparents are there, and you're sitting around. In this central courtyard, and there's vegetables growing overhead on the trellises, and you're just having a good family gathering, and you realize that this memory is foreign to you.
Yeah.
You never had a
my
wife
family
and
aren't
a husband. They
And,
are
like,
Asian
all of these
look
people are not. Okay, yeah, right. They're Asian looking,
Yeah, they
but
could
like
be.
not Japanese.
I don't know how easy it is to. I'm gonna say
It's
right
okay.
here,
People,
I can't
Japanese
tell
and
the
Chinese,
difference.
like Asian people can tell
Okay, I can't tell the difference.
from watching a reasonable amount of If You Are the One. They talk a lot about how attractive Korean people are.
All right, well, these people look Chinese to you. I
Okay.
didn't want to, I certainly cannot tell the difference on look alone about what country someone. I can't even tell on look alone what country a Caucasian person is from. Unless,
Even more so, really.
Yeah,
Yeah.
indeed. So, but if that's a thing, if Japanese people can tell the difference between Japanese people and Chinese people, then they look Chinese. Otherwise, they look Asian.
do they look other dimensional Chinese?
I mean, yeah, they got nipples on their fucking eyelids.
Are they wearing weird, pseudo-cultural amalgamation thing?
The
Clothes?
languages
No,
were different, but the clothes not so much.
okay, yeah. So wait, is this memory strange to me? But am I also like experiencing this, or am I just remembering something?
You're remembering it. It feels like.
Okay, yeah. In my just wandering mind,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like hallucinating.
No. As you're
Okay.
thinking back on your past and the things you've learned about your past, this memory kind of surfaced, and you were just remembering a happy time with your husband and your wife that you don't have either of, and all of the children that you never had.
In my polygamous extended family.
Yeah, your super family.
I think
And everybody's speaking a weird form of Chinese you've never heard.
thinking on this, do I remember more about this family? If I sort of try and dwell on it.
Yeah, so
Try and remember like.
Do you try and focus on any particular person, or are you just trying to remember the name?
I try to remember more about my grandmother.
All right, so you remember when your grandmother told you stories about her fighting in the war against What crazy war did the Chinese fight in alternate universe China? Who did that? Oh, all right. You remember them fighting? She fought in the war against the Empire of North America, the Endless Nation.
That's good.
Apparently, she killed a crow warrior with her bare hands.
Oh, are they from the same world as the alternate survivors? The true survivors?
No, because remember in True Survivors world, like the history of Native Americans is very similar to our world. It's just that the Native Americans got back with cyborgs and sorcery.
Yeah, I thought you said they took over the country.
Yes, but he's talking about his grandmother taking over the country.
Oh,
the True Survivors
grandmother.
aren't time travelers.
Right. Sorry. Grandmother.
And I just read Black Science, so I'm like, yeah, why not?
Yeah, okay. I continue wandering through the forest, vaguely remembering this weird family. Is there any other? If I sort of like pass over more of my memories of like reminiscing about stuff, do I come across any others that like sort of suddenly in this context strike me as being a bit non sequitur?
Yeah. So as you're sort of trying to figure out where this bird is,
honestly, Yuri's not that much good at hunting giant birds. I'm kind of just wandering through the forest.
As you're sort of wandering through the forest, being like,
casually hacking through
how am I going to
foliage.
hunt a bird while I'm experiencing someone else's memories from another universe? And then, it reminds you a lot of when you were trying to break the stable interdimensional travel problem. The idea that in order to form a stable bridge between universes requires an exponential amount of energy, more energy than could possibly exist in our universe. Now, obviously, it seems so obvious to you after the fact, but you remember after poring over, formulas for months and months and months, the solution finally came to you. There is more universe than could possibly exist in our universe, but you're crossing into another universe. So the trick is to use energy from all other universes at once so that you don't consume the entire energy of one universe. You instead spread out your energy consumption amongst multiple universes, because you're never really traveling between one universe and another. You're always traveling through all universes at once. It's merely your end point that changes. And then you remember that you don't know jack shit about physics, let alone interdimensional physics.
I have a weird moment of conflict where I'm like, I care so much about this, and then I'm like, but I don't give a fuck, but I care so much about this. While I'm wandering, I'm briefly like, hey, Suit, could you do you have any photos of the doctor's family?
Unfortunately, he didn't bring any such things through with him when he traveled from his universe, and I was built in this place.
All right, fair enough. He didn't sync it with his iPhotos.
However, I could try and pull something out of his memory. He did sync some of his thoughts to my suit. I was just running a diagnostic through my memory, actually.
Yeah, sure. Bring up a memory of his family.
I will attempt to produce an amalgamation of what his family looked like. However, do remember that this is produced from how you remember a person looking. So there will be distortions, almost caricatures, as the things that you remember most about a person will stand out in your memory.
Yeah, sure.
But yeah, you kind of see in your mind's eye, a strange, almost caricature picture of someone's family. It's just like a sea of faces moving in and out of focus for you.
Mhm.
One person looks like another, but is really tall. So probably like the thing that stood out most about that person was how tall they are. And it just kind of just keeps cycling through these faces as you're trying to pick things out about them. But it's like trying to remember a dream almost as you grip more the person's face and try to get it to resolve and make more sense. It becomes harder and harder and harder to get an idea of what that person looked like.
Yep. But does this memory of this family bear any passing resemblance to the memory of a family I just had?
Yes, these two things are definitely linked.
Okay. Cool. Yeah, good. I'll continue hunting this bird. / possibly give up after a while when I realize I'm getting a bit lost. Unless a giant bird decides to jump out of the bushes and attack me, I'm kind of at a loss.
As you're wandering around, you come to sort of an area where the palm trees are surrounded by a lot of low bushes, and then you hear a kind of a chirping. And then your suit tells you, we're surrounded by things, something.
For a very helpful suit, that's frustratingly non-specific. And I kind of like glance around.
As you glance around, it's like, yes, here we go. Now that you have changed where I was looking. It's almost like the way that this communicates to you too, it almost feels like these are your own thoughts bouncing back at you. Like, Jesus Christ, how did I fucking miss this? Is almost what it feels like when it says we are surrounded. It's like, oh fuck, how did I miss that there are other things near us? And you see one of the terror birds sort of stalking in the bushes and another one off, seemingly like eating something. The one that is eating something is further away from you and closer to that chirping sound.
Is the one that's stalking me?
It's hard. It looks, yes.
Cool. And I pull out my katana, and I think to myself, should have brought more swords.
Should have brought more swords. And so you slice through the stalking terror bird, and then the other one kind of freezes and then makes a kind of a clucking, cooing noise as it charges towards you, and you just hear this thump, 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 thump on the grass as it moves up towards you. Do you turn around and cut it down as well?
I cut the stalking one down and then essentially immediately switch into like a spear defense where I just like root myself and then like hold my blade up to like spear it into the chest when it charges me.
Yes, the bird charges straight onto your sword. And the little chirps go silent for a few minutes as you're looking at these two bird corpses, and then they start to become more and then they pick back up again, but more fervent and more and swifter. Like they're chirping faster and at and quicker intervals, as if panicked.
Well, it was going to be a barbecue, so I will also off screen kill all the little baby birds.
Do you bring
Not the younglings.
Do you bring them back? Yeah, fucking.
Yeah, we get that
shot.
Yeah. Except it's like instead of the small child being like
Yeah, all these little birds look up at you.
Look
and
up
then,
at me
you
like
just,
sad eyes.
and then you just turn your sword blade so that the light catches it.
Man, we are depopulating this cavern.
Hey, look.
Are they like regular chicken size?
The little baby birds? Yeah, they're about chicken size.
Yeah, nice.
And you see kind of near them, around them, their nest is in the bushes and is made out of bones of other things. And there's like a fresh kill nearby. It looks like one of them brought it here. And it kind of is like a crocodile Komodo dragon, but covered in feathers. So some kind of ground lizard or bird. I mean, I guess it's a bird.
Aren't most lizards ground lizards?
There are tree lizards.
Most lizards are ground lizards.
I will defer to you. You live in Australia. You have more lizards than I do.
Goannas are kind of tree lizards.
Okay.
Yeah, I guess most lizards are kind of versatile.
Yeah, they're adaptive.
Whereas, yeah, like Komodo dragons. Oh, no, Komodo dragons climb trees as well, I guess. So,
Komodo dragons do climb trees, but normally to sleep.
So you said ground lizards. I was thinking like air lizards, like flying.
Well, there are
That's
air
not gonna
lizards. They do glide.
Yeah, okay. Fucking lizard.
yeah, it's a kind of bird reptile.
Yeah, indeed. It's a transitional fossil.
Like a Komodo dragon Archaeopteryx.
Yeah, indeed.
Cool. I arrive back at camp carrying the plucked carcasses of 2 terror birds and a handful.
And a sack full of, and a hand of chickens.
Just like a hand of chickens by their legs.
Mm-hmm.
You know. And
Yuri's just covered in
sling
chicken
these 2 like sacks. Yeah, these 2 like sacks of terror bird.
Yeah,
and a bunch of
with beaks like fucking finches.
While you were gone, Greg was spending his time converting the quartz dome into a giant fire pit, so the bottom is now like lined with stone, and there's a giant rotisserie above it.
I guess you could use the quartz plates as like heating elements.
Yeah, I was thinking they'd make pretty good plates.
They would make pretty good plates.
We probably have enough to do both.
So you guys start cooking the food. We're gonna kind of skip over the barbecue because, like, let's finish this adventure.
Skip over the best part.
You will get to describe what happened. Well, okay, fine.
I'm kidding.
No. It was genuinely fine.
Indeed. So, which would you rather the exciting thing happen at? Does the exciting thing happen at the barbecue, or does the exciting thing happen at the escape from the cavern?
To be quite honest, I kind of want it to be at the barbecue.
That's fine. I don't mind
making exciting drive checks.
I don't mind that being the case, but I will let you guys pick which of those 2 events is the more exciting.
I'm open for options, but
I'm okay with the barbecue.
Barbecue.
Yeah, same here.
I'm fine with the escape being like we all leave the Hollow Earth.
All right.
Kind of thing.
All right. In which case, we roleplay at the barbecue, and the leaving the Hollow Earth will be the montage 1 or 2 lines each.
Yep.
So you prep your chickens and your terror birds.
Yep,
you marinate them in your honey Raider egg mixture.
I might do a bit of variety. We'll see if we can get some spicier ones.
I still have plenty of butch juice.
So I will
Can we find some more plant varieties?
You could try and do plant salvaging for sure. Or you could try and see what you can mix up from using the freeze-dried meals you have. So you might be able to get a kind of a flavoring out of the freeze-dried meals.
Oh, I could be like, Greg, can you synthesize me a small amount of...
Hey, Greg, could you synthesize me some chili powder?
Yeah, I just kind of like use Greg as a spice shaker. I like have Greg over the food, and I'm like, all right, Greg, cayenne pepper.
I suppose I can.
Greg just like rains
Computer,
spices.
Earl Grey, hot.
Exactly.
Cracked black pepper.
You say black pepper, I just drop like whole peppercorns into it.
Greg, I said cracked.
You have to be more specific.
Is this
Finely
everything you
pounded
dreamed?
black pepper.
Ground black pepper.
Is this everything you dreamed individuality would be, Greg?
No, but you humans have a good way. You humans have a way of ruining things.
This is what you get with imagination, Greg.
So I make a bunch of seasonings.
Wonderful. We collaborate to make some excellently seasoned terror birds. Some good spice rubs.
You can put expensive spices and things on too, because like
That's true.
Yeah.
I'm like, Greg, give me a pound of saffron.
What are you gonna do with a pound of saffron? Does saffron go with chicken? I don't know. I've never used it because it's so expensive.
Also,
I think actually sumac chicken is good.
Get a whole bunch of
saffron
black
pounder.
truffle just because.
Yeah, shaved truffles and
Fuck.
I
Yeah.
hate truffles. Truffle oil in particular, I hate the taste of. However, I'm not the one eating at the barbecue.
Neither is Greg.
Yeah,
so
we need that. We need that sweet umami. Yeah, good. Yeah, we definitely make it an incredibly expensive spiced chicken rubs.
Brilliant. You make a wide variety of chicken.
I think we'll like
white meat.
split. We'll split the terror birds in like down the breast sort of thing, so we can like open grill them.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Otherwise, they'll take the next 3 years to spit roast.
Like how you barbecue hogs and stuff. Sometimes.
Yeah.
How you cut them in two.
And then we'll spit roast the small ones.
You butterfly the terror birds.
Yep.
In a cruel twist of irony.
We'll take all the wings and drumsticks off the little ones to make some good sticky wings.
Some sticky wings, some honey soy wings.
Mm-hmm.
How good is honey
and I want to make
soy?
some little kebabs with the coconuts.
With the coconuts?
kebabs?
Who puts
Yeah,
coconut?
The meat.
Coconut flesh into little chunks.
I've never seen coconut flesh on a kebab, but I'm interested.
Well, I mean, we don't have a lot to work with.
yeah.
Mostly,
Do what we can.
We got bird, crab.
Yeah,
and
I'm gonna make. Yeah, I got bird crab and coconut.
maybe you
to
can make the
some
crab
skewers.
into like a nice summer stew.
mm-hmm.
Oh yeah,
Make that.
make a good like tom yum sort of thing.
Mm.
Or some kind of
I
giant
mean,
crab.
that big quartz dome would make a good bowl.
Just flip it over.
Yeah.
I'm like, and I get on the radio and I'm like, hey guys, it's BYO drinks and salads.
We have meat covered. And then, Vic's like, no, Julio like swears in Portuguese.
Well, we have what I forget. Is the lagoon we're next to? Is that salt water or fresh water?
It is salty water. Whether
Okay.
it is salt water is... it probably would describe it as brackish
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
in the literal sense, as opposed to the way that it is commonly used.
Right.
It is
And
literally
mildly
brackish.
stagnant.
So brackish is often used to mean mildly stagnant, whereas brackish means a place where fresh water and salt water intermingle. So it's
Yeah.
not as salty as seawater, but is saltier than fresh water.
Right.
I let the others know over the comms as well that I'm like, yeah, but also, whatever you've got.
Julio's
all
like,
working
damn it,
with what we
I
got
just
down
caught
here."
like five fish. 5 like
Hey,
bone
fish is good too. We don't have any fish,
We got crab.
We got crab.
but we do have a shortage of salad. Just so we all know. I don't think anyone's vegetarian, are they?
No one.
If they are, they probably shouldn't have come to the barbecue.
Hey, you can
Look, to be honest, if there's anyone
you can
vegetarian,
barbecue a
it's probably the
capsicum.
Bellies.
Look, if you have special dietary needs, it's your responsibility to let the people know.
Exactly.
And I'm like on the open channel. I'm like, hey, Valkyrs, if you guys are vegetarian, you can fuck off.
Oh
Also, you can fuck off.
they're not invited, are they?
no,
Exactly. I'm just rubbing it in.
that's why we heard you guys are vegetarian, and we were only going to be serving meat, so we didn't want to invite you.
You hear the deep, sultry voice of Billy Blacktop come over the radio. We've negotiated for some leafy greens from the local indigenous population.
Nice. Communist grains.
Mm-hmm. Communist greens. It's the best kind of greens. You don't want like libertarian greens.
Mhm. Capitalist grains.
Oh,
I had
capitalist
Randy.
greens is the worst. We
had
should
Randy.
Forgetter.
we should protect forests because they're a good investment. No, we should protect the forests because we'll be dead without them.
You know what else they're good for? Making air that we breathe.
Yeah. Why do you want to protect the galaxy? Because I fucking live in it.
Yeah, see, I feel like communists would have a bit more of a mind for the keeping resources for the good of public use.
In theory.
When they're not
In
creating
theory.
famines.
On
that is.
paper.
On paper, definitely.
Look, broadly, communism has been used as a vehicle for fascism, so
Yeah.
it's difficult to judge.
We haven't seen proper communism work out yet. I feel like communism's a really, really, really great micro political system. Like for a small place, as opposed to something, say, the size of Russia.
Yeah.
It's a lot of shit to manage. Anyway.
Communist grains.
So the
Yeah.
true survivors arrive first, and they actually roll up in their car. So they've kind of been slowly edging their way through the forest all day and then they arrive like, yeah. So we thought, I mean, we're getting out of here tomorrow. We've already accomplished our side mission, so. Figure might as well just set out from here. So
You had a side mission as well.
yeah, pretty sure we all did. And you're talking to what is it? Is it Dick Dynamo? Surely it's not Dick Dynamo.
I'm pretty sure it is Dick Dynamo.
It is in fact Dick Dynamo. So yes, you're talking to Dick Dynamo, the happy-go-lucky vice cop who rides a sweet hog.
He's not the cyborg, is he?
No, the psycho.
I feel like
The
the
cyborg
cyborg
is
should have been called Dick
Julio.
Dynamo.
The cyborg is named Julio Thrasher because he's Hispanic.
I just
Oh,
feel
of
like the
course.
cyborg could have been Dick Dynamo.
I made Julio Thrasher first, and then I'm like, I need like a vice cop, and I need it to not be Mel Gibson.
I know that they were secret missions, but what were you sent to collect?
So we had to try and find. Apparently, there was like a Nazi encampment here at some point, and we thought we found it, and then we didn't find it, and then we did find it, and then we didn't find it. Anyway, the shit that we needed, the guys in the bunker had, so we just traded them some medical supplies and a few welders, and our bikes. We left them our bikes.
What was it? I'm wondering what they want all these different pieces for.
I think
Well, who
it's
asked you guys to do it?
scout team. They said,
yeah.
comms asked us to do a thing. Yeah,
Send
it was
it
like they wanted us to bring back a bunch of any like lab notes or anything, but we couldn't find that. But we did get like a trunk full of
Junk.
yeah, and a few vials of shit. Looked like it was kind of important. So, we did our best. Either the scout team will give us the boon, or they won't. Really, doesn't matter too much as long as we can fucking space proof our car.
Could I take a look at it?
The box.
Yes, we had to find a radiation source.
Oh yeah, they said that you had like a bomb or some shit.
And I like tap our heavily shielded box disguised as a cooler.
It's just Greg's just spray painted on it. Cooler.
Yeah. I'm basically
Cooler,
I
no
wanna-
drinks.
Yeah, no drinks, no ice. Greg wants to take a look at what they found because he wants to see if there's any way it could be used in conjunction with the angel heart.
I mean, sure, go ask Vic. He's just sort of, yeah. I mean, he'll ask him if you can have a look at it.
Thank
Now, somebody told me there'd be crab, and Dick Dynamo walks over towards the crab bake.
Amriel is brushing the coals off the crab now that it's cooked, and she hands him a quartz tile with some giant crab on it.
Jesus Christ, this is a lot of crab you guys have. Don't let Jason get into any of it. He's got a shellfish allergy. And yeah, so Dick chews into the crab as Greg floats over towards the Mercedes truck thing. And yeah, you see the other guys like getting out of the thing and like laying down their sleeping bags and stuff near the truck, and see Alex like pulling out like a canopy that's mounted to the side of the truck. So they're not going to set up full tents or anything. So you're talking to Vic?
Yeah.
Hello, Greg. Thanks for inviting us to your barbecue. And he sort of like hold out his hand towards you.
One moment. Greg floats back like behind the corner of their car, turns on his David Bowie, and then walks back and shakes his hand.
Yeah, I'd heard it. Yeah. I was gonna say, I heard you got hands, but like you guys have been fucking living together, so yes, he knows. Cause, oh shit.
Yeah.
So yeah, he shakes your hand like, yeah, thanks for the invite. Now, I am from the cities. God, I've forgotten a bunch of American cities all of a sudden.
Do you just
Hang
need
on.
a city?
No.
I just forgot all the cities.
I forgot all of the cities in the place that I needed to think of.
Oh.
Oh, okay. I didn't realize that. That's weird. Now back my home in the city state of Winston. We got a particular way of barbecuing, so I'm interested to see your technique for the chickens.
Oh, well, you would have to talk to Yuri about that. I was making spices for him, but he has been in charge of the cooking.
I hope that boy knows how to make a good bark, because it's all about the bark. You've got to have a proper rub on the chicken.
He was rubbing things into it. I tend to stay away from cooking as I don't really taste flavor. I tried it once, and apparently the vomiting was not a normal post-dinner pastime.
It's like panda cooking. Hey, but you like cute things, so I made you a pony. Well,
I had a question for you.
Yes.
Fuck! I just forgot his name. The guy who told me to come over and speak to Vic.
Dick.
Dick said that I should talk to you. I'm concerned about the secret missions that everyone had. I know that Scout Team 1 sent everyone to find something. They had us find a radiation source. I was wondering if I could look at the materials that you recovered to see if there's any way that they could be used adversely.
Sure. All right. Yeah. Well, you
You can watch me, of course. I don't want to take anything.
Mikasa Esukasa.
Oh, thank you.
He says as he walks off towards your barbecue. It gestures to the trunk that is on the back of their truck.
Oh, okay. I will open the trunk and see if I can find the box that has the stuff in it that they found.
Well, so it's like a truck bed. So.
Oh, okay. Well, okay.
Sorry.
Then I'm gonna.
I did say the trunk as the trunk that.
Right. Lower the tailgate and see what's back there.
Yeah. So you open up the trunk, the large crate, chest thing. It's got a little worn. It's very worn. It's got like an old padlock on it that looks like the True Survivors just cut through with an oxy torch. And you open it up, and there's like journal things in there. Yeah, there's a few books, a bunch of like resource books, like kind of stuff, like almost like it's like an encyclopedia of chemical formulas and shit like that. And a few vials of different things. You see a jar of like they almost look like macadamia nuts.
Okay.
Inside like a jar of green fluid.
Okay.
You see a jar of formaldehyde with a bird fetus in it.
Is it a familiar looking bird fetus?
No, it is not.
Oh, so it's not like a terror bird?
It may be another variety of bird from here.
Okay.
It's a small jar for sure. Yeah, there's a lot of stuff in here. You can make me an investigation check.
Ooh, okay.
I think there's an investigation skill.
There is. I have it.
Great.
Not great, but I have it. Okay.
Because you're trying to piece together what all this shit means and if there's any rhyme and reason to it.
Okay, so that puts me at -2.
Okay.
So I'm going to invoke my smartest cloud in the room.
And that gets a lot of mileage.
Well, it's a signature aspect. That's why I put the points into it.
Indeed.
And I'm also, that brings me up to 0, but I'm also going to spend a fate point, because I actually have to do it, and invoke Curiosity Killed the Cloud to bring me up to +2. So I'm going to use 2 aspects.
All right, so Curiosity Killed the Cloud.
Because I'm curious about this. I want to see how this all fits together.
So you're looking at a few
If it does it all.
and you open up the books and they're scanning through them, and it seems to be like a cataloging of. It's almost like a study of the biodiversity of this region.
Okay.
And there's some talk about clearly this used to be a outpost for the Aryans, and yada 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 about the great races that came before.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps this was some kind of garden where they cultivated great crops with amazing scientific properties. And then you open up and you're sort of picking through the vials and seeing what they are. And as you pick up one, you sort of uncork it. As the book seems to refer to it as you think that it's some kind of only floral scent, and you're like, well, maybe it smells nice. Maybe it will smell so nice that I will be able to smell it. And you're curious, and that's not what happens. The gas spews out of it. It looked like it was a liquid, but you take the top off, and it sort of becomes a gas, and it
Okay.
spews out this violent this very purple little bit of gas, and it goes into your cloud, and you start to feel the connections between the bits of yourself breaking.
Oh,
Again, like when you were in the like when you were in the lab in Mongolia and you got
Right.
hit with the radiation stuff.
Yeah.
It's like that. It's breaking down the bonds between you as a cloud.
That's ow.
However, it is a gas. It is a physical molecule that is having this effect on you,
Okay. So
as opposed
Greg
to radiation.
caps the vial and runs away out of the cloud.
It's sort of lingering in the gaseous nanoness that is you.
Yeah. I'm assuming Greg, as Greg is a cloud, he probably has some way to filter himself, so he's going to take some time and do that.
Well, it's a physical molecule, so you could just dissolve it.
Oh, or yeah, that too.
Which I would imagine is how the way your race filters itself.
Probably, yeah.
It can break down molecular bonds.
Oh no, I'm dirty, and now the dirt is carbon.
Yeah. So you just start breaking down this compound. That's a weird natural molecule that it would disrupt the bonds between your nano cloud self.
Is there any way that could be used in conjunction with the angel heart?
This research doesn't seem connected, except in the way that maybe the great race that came before and the Aryans might be a reference to the angel or the people that built that little grotto temple thing.
Okay.
But it's an unclear connection. The research into the chemical compounds that are in this place definitely not connected to the angel.
Okay. So once that cloud dissipates, I'm going to put the vial back and close up the trunk.
Mm-hmm. Emriel, you're mingling about. You see Vic and Yuri talking about, barbecuing techniques. Vic seems to be what is the word that I'm looking for? It's an American slang that I don't know very well. Anyway, he's making fun of Yuri's barbecuing technique, basically. He's been like, this is a terrible spice blend. Oh, this bark, you didn't get a good bark going. And yada, yada, yada.
Yuri is explaining the merits of a more minimalist Asian-style barbecue.
It's Japanese fusion barbecue.
It sounds like it tastes like you used an entire pound of saffron in this.
Well, when you got
the truffle is just overwhelming.
What are you doing, Emriel?
I guess I'm serving the crab, putting more pieces on because there's hungry people to be fed.
And Alex walks over. Alexandra Remington walks up to you to get some crab.
I will. Hey, how's it going?
Good. Yeah. Yeah. Good. You just sort of both standing there in front of the barbecue.
Anyone else around looking for crabs, or can I?
No one seems to be walking up to you to get food, but no one's far away.
All right. So yeah, I guess I'll turn my attention away from the crab cooking for a bit.
Do you give her any crab?
Yeah, I will give her a piece.
She's like, thanks. Wish we had some bread rolls, make some crab rolls or something.
We might have some kind of a freeze-dried biscuit. I don't know. We got a whole bunch of stuff. Let me see if I can find something for you. And I will.
Stands around awkwardly as you rummage through the thing of freeze-dried shit. You find what looks kind of like a bread, but it's got a bunch of writing on it in Icelandic. They kind of look like flat, soft-ish discs. Maybe if you like rehydrate them, they become more like bread. They're about the size of a Eggo waffle.
All right. I guess I will try maybe to
Or a
rehydrate
pikelet or whatever.
Yeah. This is the closest thing to bread that I've found. But you're more than welcome.
Did it have a label?
It did, but it was in Icelandic. I will.
So basically, no, then, right?
So many consonants.
So many. Too many. I mean, any language that has that many consonants is trying to hide something, right?
I mean, I kind of agree with you.
It's as if the language itself is saying that it knows something we don't.
We're kind of short on vowels in the pit ourselves, so.
She grabs the bit of hard tack. He's like, well, thanks for that. And just goes to walk off back towards her car.
I will stop her.
How?
I'll just say her name. Alexandra.
She pauses and sort of turns around. Yeah?
I've missed you.
She just sort of looks at you and nods. It's like, yeah? Okay. What do you want me to do with this information?
You know, I don't know, but I don't want to make this any more difficult for you than it already might be. I don't know.
Everyone kind of starts to look but not look towards you guys. Like, they're trying to look like they're not looking at you, but they've all stopped talking about whatever the fuck they were talking about before, and they're just, like, sort of quietly looking at, like, the fire, or the lake, or, you know, at their food.
Do you want to go someplace away from prying eyes?
And she looks at you for a minute, and sort of, like, this empty second of time between you guys, and then she's just like, I'm just gonna eat, and she walks over to the car. Then you see
I come up to like beside Amriel, and I'm like, kebab?
and just as Emerald offers you a kebab, you see Jason Judo walk over to Alex. And he's kind of, she's like sitting in the door of the car, like sitting in the doorway of the car. And Jason's kind of standing between your view of her. He's kind of like standing over her, like, and they're talking. It's clear that they're talking to one another. As Yuri's like, kebab?
Do we have anything alcoholic? Because I feel like I'm gonna need it.
I want to talk to Greg about that.
Or Julio.
Or Julio. Greg or the True Survivor is usually the best bet. But
In the meantime,
I bet Greg could ferment up a mean coconut juice thing in no time.
Julio's just upset that Yuri and he can't ride the lightning anymore because now Yuri's all flesh and blood.
All fleshy and electrocutable.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, hey, you, never mind.
I guess I'm riding alone tonight. As he hooks himself up to a car battery.
poor Julio. In the meantime, yes, I guess kebab will have to do.
So you munch on a delicious shish kebab. And a few minutes after this exchange and the kebabs, you guys hear an explosion deeper into the forest, not near you. But yeah, you just hear an explosion. I don't know why Alex just fucking made guitar noises.
You said explosion, and it made me think of Mr. Torg from Borderlands 2. And if there's an explosion, it has to be accompanied by air guitar solo.
Of course. Yeah, so there's an explosion in the distance. And then a few minutes later, 4 more in quick succession, like a few seconds apart from one another.
Has
Closer?
TKS shown up yet?
TKS has not shown up yet.
Is it 7?
It's about 5.
Oh, okay. So it's not, they wouldn't be here yet. We don't know where they were camping, so we don't know if that's in the direction. Do we know where they were camping?
You have the impression from the fact that they got chewed through the storm first
Yeah.
that they were camping to the southeast.
And where's the explosions coming from?
The southeast.
Oh, I'm
Ish.
sure that's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
Southeast, but closer.
Oh, okay.
So it's not their camp, some in between distance, like, say, the job that they had to do.
Right. Well, I'm sure that's just a coincidence.
Yeah.
I'm
Sort
going
of
to
sounds like
radio them.
TKS are bringing the party.
Is that cop car going past Ryan and Alex's location, or
No, my
Finn's?
location.
No.
Okay. It was very faint, but I picked it up.
No, now I hear it.
Yeah, I hear it too.
Hang
What'd
on.
you do, Finn?
No, Finn just lives in town, so...
Yeah, I'm going to, since Greg has his radio built in, he's going to radio TKS.
Mm-hmm.
TKS, are you there?
Yeah, we're here, Greg. We're just in the middle of an excavation
Oh,
of an artifact.
we can hear the explosions.
Yeah, we had to blast. There was an obstruction.
Can I make an empathy? I think it's empathy. Yeah,
You can make
that's
some
like
kind
see
of-
if they're.
go for it. See what's going on. Are you trying to
I
see
don't
if
know.
they're lying, or what are you doing?
I guess. Yeah. I guess that would be empathy.
Yeah.
He doesn't have like super lying skills, does he? So I'm just rolling a pace.
No, they're all engineers. All 3 of them are engineers.
Woo!
That's their shtick.
+1.
Well, he's not lying.
But does he?
It
He's
wasn't-
down.
There was an obstruction, and they had to blast. However, an obstruction is probably a euphemism.
Yeah. Okay. Well, if you need any help, we're not too far away. Just give us a call.
Oh no, we've dealt with it now. And then in the distance, you guys hear like a string of laser rifle fire. Like, yeah, probably, definitely dealt with it. Like, you hear one loud ring out of a gunshot. It's like, Yeah, we got it. It's fine. We cleared the obstruction.
Greg just gives everyone a thumbs up. Well, okay then. We'll see you later.
Yeah, we just gotta pull the artifact out of its hole, and we'll be there in like. We should be there by 7.
Yeah. True survivors are already here. Don't worry. There's plenty of food, and good luck with your artifact.
We're bringing wine, rice wine.
Ooh, sake, very good.
No, Chinese rice wine. This shit'll kill you. You know, the terrible stuff, the bad stuff.
Ah, well, it's all alcohol to me. Ha 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 ha.
Never change, Greg. Never change. As he is off the radio.
Yeah, I relay. They had to kill something. They're all right.
So, how does the party evolve in 2 hours it takes for TKS to get here? What events of note happen?
Greg will synthesize a giant punch bowl of alcohol if that's what people want.
A fruity punch bowl.
Yeah, just a giant bowl of Mai Tais.
Nice.
I feel like Amriel will be probably sticking pretty close to that bowl for the remainder of the party.
One for the guests, one for me. One for the guests, one for me.
One for the guests, one for me. 2 for the guests, 1, 2 for me.
5 for me. Greg, we need another punch bowl.
You know this party needs karaoke. Greg, we need a karaoke machine.
No.
We need a karaoke machine right now.
I don't think that's advisable.
I want to sing "Living on a Prayer."
Just by yourself.
Greg would need to have a catalog of music.
The car has a stereo. I assume we've got some tapes.
Dick Dynamo pulls out his ukulele. And Vic grabs what weird instrument would an old man play that you could fit in your car?
Harmonica?
I feel like harmonica is too obvious.
What about with those mouth, those like boing, 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 what do they call those? Those,
Mouth pianos?
Is that what they are?
Is that
It's
a
like
thing?
No, see, I think mouth piano, you can have, like, you've got mouth keyboards.
Fuck.
I
I'm
mean,
gonna Google
you can
mouth
go
instruments and...
You can go with like accordion or.
Oh, there it is! A jaw harp.
Okay, yeah.
A mouth
Sure.
organ.
Yeah, Vic plays the jaw harp.
It's like one of those boing, 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 boing.
Yep.
So they start playing weird discordant music. It's like you're at a barbecue for horror clowns.
And Amriel is drunkenly singing
Living on a prayer to calliope music, basically. Island calliope music. Oh, brilliant. So, TKS arrive from the beach side, actually. And they sort of roll in from towards the beach, down the lagoon.
A 10-penny whistle would be pretty good, too. A 10-penny whistle.
And they're like, you know, they fire loud, like, you know, they start handing out bottles of wine, of rice wine. They've got like 3 or 4 of them. They start handing them out, and you guys start getting more drunk, and then Ayumi's
we're
like,
all, like, it's like a smash cut to us all singing "Living on a Prayer" to this ridiculous music.
just singing "Living on a Prayer" as Ayumi plays electric keyboard.
We're all
Vic
like,
is
"Hey!"
Vic is on the mouth organ. and Dick Dynamo was on the ukulele.
It's like a horrible high school band.
Yeah. It's my high school island calliope music cover band. We do covers of other band songs.
So
But interpret them as island calliope music.
When I was in college, a friend invited me to a show for his high school band, and it was a bass guitar, a drum, and an oboe.
What band was this? Wait, was it someone I know?
No.
Oh, okay. Can I talk to TKS before they get too sloshed?
Yeah, go for it.
So, how did the artifact extraction go?
Oh yeah, man, we fucking put that thing out of there. Cut that artifact a new one.
Can I see it? I'm concerned about these missions that Scout Team 1 has given us.
Oh yeah, man, sure, take a look.
Right.
And it looks like he takes who is this? Which one of the twin triplets is this? Kayuki. Kayuki takes you back to the car. Like, yeah, we had to put it in Kuma's seat, but yeah, we pulled this out of the damn thing, and it's like a statue, a marble statue, of twisting tree-like tentacles covered in eyeballs, with teeth erupting from it at random intervals. And the teeth are real teeth that were somehow embedded into the marble.
Oh.
It's sort of sitting on a dais with writing around it. It's looks like Aramaic.
What's it say?
It appears to be a poem where the gist of it is don't fuck with shit from beneath the Earth's crust.
Did you have to kill something to get this statue?
Yeah, man, it was like a big fucking like how to describe it? Like kind of a crab crocodile thing, but fatter.
Did it come up out of the ground?
With like pincers, like an ant, like mandibles, not pincers.
Well, can I examine the stat? Is it like emitting any kind of radiation, or is it just a statue?
No, it's just a statue.
Okay.
But yeah, you guys party on into the night. Does anyone else do anything before they pass out or wander off into the woods alone?
No. Like Yuri just has a thoroughly good evening getting hammered.
He gets thoroughly sloshed.
We eat so much terrorbird
So
and
much,
crab.
so much chicken.
Yuri makes lots of jokes about Amriel's crabs.
Everyone, get some of Amriel's crabs!
In a quiet moment, I'm like, Amriel, I'm sorry it didn't work out with Alex. I guess she just didn't want your crabs.
Quiet moment ruined.
Oh, Yuri, fuck you.
Fuck you, Amriel.
Oh my god, are you
And
guys
he,
gonna
like,
fuck?
hugs her.
Oh.
That'd be weird.
Nope. Mm-mm.
That could change the team's dynamic.
Slightly, yeah.
That's not happening because Amriel is a lesbian and Yuri is gay.
That's a good point. That would be weird.
You're like as far from each other on the sexual spectrum as you can possibly get.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, well, I guess as far from each other. Yeah, that's a fair point. Just thinking in terms of positions that are most opposite, hypersexual and asexual. are pretty.
Yes, pansexual and asexual, essentially.
Pansexual isn't necessarily hypersexual.
No.
But
But
yes,
in terms
anyway.
of attracted to things, yes, okay.
I guess if we're
Not
going by
happening.
merit of things that you're attracted to, then yes, pansexual and asexual are pretty far apart.
In the Venn diagram of shared sexual interests.
Yeah. So,
I feel like after following that exchange, there might be like a very brief, very sad fight between Yuri and Amriel. Very quickly broken up.
And we all just like jumps on top of Yuri. And then like Yuri's just like pinned, like I'm not wearing my biosuit, so I'm like,
Yeah.
I literally can't move.
you're just some dude.
You got me.
And then Amriel just like starts laughing and rolls off, and this is really tense, awkward moment where everybody thinks we're gonna kill
Everyone's
each
about to like destroy Yuri.
Yeah.
Because you are a demon. Do you talk to Alex at all?
I feel like at some point in the party, Amriel gets drunk enough that happens, but I don't know that it goes anywhere productive.
So by the time Amriel gets drunk enough to work up the courage, Alex has gone to bed. Do you stumble awkwardly into the True Survivors camp? And
Drunk
try
enough.
and
drunk
try
And then have a
try
drunken conversation with sleeping Alex.
Yeah, try to have a drunken conversation with a sleeping bag.
Yeah, I think yes. I think yes.
All right. So you trip over a pot of some kind, and kick somebody as one of the other True Survivors has gone to bed, and then you like flop down on the sand next to Alex, and you just start like talking to her about what's going on, and you miss her and all this stuff. And then like 10 minutes later, you finish pouring your heart out, and Alex is laying there next to you like snoring, and then what do you do as she's snoring? Seemingly maybe having missed what you've said.
I'm gonna draw from personal experience here. It's like a tape on loop on endless repeat. Amriel just starts right back over from the beginning again without quite realizing that she's not, that she hasn't moved on to another subject.
and from across the camp, you feel something like hit you in the back of the head.
Amriel turns and like snarls and then stumbles.
Yeah, you turn and snarl and see Alex like sitting up in the sleeping bag, staring at you from across the camp. As you realize you've been talking to one of the other TKS members, to one of the other True Survivor members.
Amriel does like a double take and then kind of
rolls over Julio.
Yeah.
You like grab their shoulder and then it's like
Right.
Julio's cyborg face snoring.
And then just sort of sits down next to Alex and then looks over and goes, that wasn't you.
No, it wasn't. And up until a few minutes ago, I was having quite a pleasant bit of sleep. Now that it is finally fucking dark out in this place.
I hear you there. Being in that tent was like being inside of a light bulb. Oh,
And does this talking about the tent and being in it dovetail nicely into you talking about being alone in said tent and missing the company of another person? And then like your dialogue starts all over again? Your monologue?
Or you're gonna realize how awkward it is to restate your entire monologue.
I feel like she might have been listening to part of it, so I try to say something like, "Listen, I know that you're thinking about going home and everything, and I know that I don't yeah, and then they
she
just
puts her hand on your arm and like you kind of look into each other's eyes for a while, and then she says, "Amriel, I'm god awfully tired. So
and then Amriel like nods and stumbles away.
And as you're stumbling away, you just hear Julio go, "Man, Alex, that's cold."
And Amriel spends another night alone in her tent.
Yeah, as you're walking back to your bed, Julio and not Julio, Jason and Yuri are standing next to each other, and Jason's like, "Look, man, I'm telling you, if you try to cut me with your sword, I can just like block it with my sweet moves. I'll just deflect it. I mean, I can like even break your sword. I'm not gonna, cause I respect you as a dude, as a guy, as a fellow practitioner. But I just got so many moves," and he's like flinging his arms around in front of him like a kid doing karate.
I think this briefly evolves into them like Yuri being like, all right, I'll get my sword, and then it's them like standing in front of each other in the fire with like him, and he's got his like arms out ready to like deflect the katana, and then Yuri is like holding his sword, kind of like stumbling side to side, and then they make some like very awkward complete swipe misses where like Yuri just like swipes it at the air to his left, and the other guy like massively overcompensates and like dives
Jason's
for it.
like, "See, man, you can't even hit me. I'm too fast. I'm like floating like a wasp and stinging like a spider."
And I think at some point they both just devolve into like hysterical giggles on the ground,
Yeah, about
being like, "You got me, yeah. You're too good for me. Your moves are too good, man. Your moves are too good.
Oh man, you're so good. You're so
Fuck, you
good
can
at
catch a bullet. Let's not do that one."
Oh, you're so good at fighting. So you're just real good at it. Oh man. We should open up like an
A kung fu film company. Yeah, that's what you're thinking, right?
well, I mean, yes, I like where your head is at. I was gonna say we should open up like a martial arts studio where you teach techniques from this earth and beyond the grave, and I teach techniques from my earth, and also we make martial arts movies.
Let's just start a stunt crew.
Oh man, that was so good. Oh, so good.
I feel like somehow
Oh,
in
man.
this universe, Jackie Chan is also a superhero.
Well, yeah, but that's only because Jackie Chan is a superhero.
Yeah,
He's a superhero and an opera singer.
in real life.
And a skilled dramatic actor and so many things.
Mm-hmm.
And has his own cartoon.
Although I feel like he was a superhero, but not. He was maybe did the superheroes who didn't have superpowers disappear during Ragnarok?
Every active superhero disappeared, whether they were known to the public or not.
Yep.
Some
And like,
side-
and even if they
some
didn't have like,
sidekicks
even if they
remain.
just have like, yep,
even if they didn't
even
have powers. If like Batman would have fucking disappeared.
yep.
It was every active hero, every active villain. I think a few like retired villains remained, and a couple of sidekicks. But like, yeah, actually, yeah, and a few sidekicks because like there's an antagonist book that they just put out for base raiders that is the sidekick of a sword hero has been like, fuck you guys, I'm the only real hero left, and I'm going to stop all the base raiders because they're pretenders to the throne. I think is his shtick. I think he's a villain in the new RPPR base raider campaign, which is coming out soon too. I don't know if he's a main villain, but he is one of them.
I think Jackie Chan disappeared.
No, not Jackie Chan, Exemplar. The character.
Oh. Sorry, I spaced out for a second.
No, but I think Jackie Chan disappeared during Ragnarok.
Yeah, we could be like the new Jackie Chans.
Yes, good. We continue. We cut away from this conversation as they gradually fall asleep.
And then, unless Greg has something,
Greg is the only sober one at the party.
Yeah.
yes.
It must be hell over there.
Greg is the only sober one at the party.
Sometimes
But he's
it's
just trying
fun
to
being
figure out.
the only sober person because you get to watch all these fucking giant children do stupid shit.
Oh yeah. I'm just trying to figure out if there's what that statue is for.
Mm-hmm. You could try and rub it on some of the other secret objectives.
No, I'm probably just chasing
Suggest
nothing.
someone.
Classic Call of Cthulhu scenario maneuver. Take the two horror items and rub them against one another until more horror comes out.
Greg's just watching everyone.
All right, Greg, you see Amriel walk up to her tent and kind of paw at it and then snarl, and then she kind of shreds part of it with her claws and falls into it so the entire thing collapses.
Oh,
and then,
that was right.
And then falls asleep on her face.
Mm-hmm.
I've done that. I have tried to get into a tent, failed, and said fuck it, and just slept on top of the pile of tent.
I think Greg waits until everyone else passes out before he goes to sleep.
Mm-hmm.
Just to make sure no one accidentally wanders off into the boiling lake.
Brilliant.
It's a giant hot tub!
Greg,
To be fair, I feel
uh,
like you probably stopped someone from doing that.
Yeah. No, come back.
It's
It's not
like
a hot tub.
a hot tub. We should go up to the hot tub.
No,
Hot
it's
springs.
more like a lobster pot, not a hot tub.
Don't worry, my mystical kung fu powers will protect me.
No.
I've got an iron bodice.
They're just like, oh god, Greg, such a rainy cloud sometimes.
Just go to sleep.
So the morning comes around. Greg's probably the first one up. Because
Yeah.
Greg much sleep.
Greg is making breakfast of
Of
leftover.
whatever the fuck is left over.
Yeah.
You make a bubble and squeak out of solely meat products.
I don't know what a bubble and squeak is, but sure.
A bubble and squeak is a leftover thing. It's normally made out of what you have left over from this dinner. So cabbage, potato, peas normally, and you press it into a patty and cook it. And it's called bubble and squeak because the cabbage squeaks as it cooks in a fry pan, and the frying liquid bubbles. But basically, you make a leftover hash.
Yes, exactly.
I popped my drawer out of its rail because I was resting my feet on it like I shouldn't have. Which is what that loud noise was. So, everyone else starts to wake up and file over to Greg's breakfast buffet and get a nice big heaping of Greg chow. And, Vic seemingly without a hangover, despite having drunk as much as anyone, emerges from his sleeping bag like, what a beautiful, dark, foggy morning. Everybody feeling ready to get underway, get on the road. Feel that fresh open air and get the fuck out of this cave.
I don't think there are any roads around here. We haven't seen any.
Figure of speech, Greg. Figure of speech. I always feel so energized in the morning. think I might go for a jog around the lagoon if anybody wants to join me. And everyone kind of moans. Kayuki grabs a raider and he's like, you know what? Fuck it, I'll come. Let's go for a fucking jog. And he pours the Raiderade into like a jogging water bottle.
Mm-hmm.
Just like pours 3 cans of Raiderade in there. All right, let's fuck it. Let's go for a jog. And so Kayuki go for a jog around the lagoon. As everyone starts to pack up camp. Emriel, what are you gonna do with your tent?
I feel like I just like crawl out of the wreckage of it, and like after I'm done eating breakfast on top of it, I kind of just drop the quartz shingle plate in the middle of it, roll it all up, and then just toss it as hard as I can into the boiling lake.
Yep.
Leave only footprints.
I was
Take
just
only angel hearts.
I was just thinking that.
And then I turn toward one of the camera orbs, and I try to pronounce the name of the company that sponsored us, and I give it like a weak thumbs up.
Verlagen.
The most aerodynamic tents in the world.
Oh, great. You guys, Greg, the first person to kind of wake up after you did was Julio, and you actually catch him holding one of the camera orb things and sitting by the lakeshore, and he's like doing a vlog entry into the 24-hour live stream feed.
Oh,
He's
okay.
just, like talking about like his night partying and like the camaraderie of the race, and how this year's series has really brought the teams together, the old teams and the new, and that he kind of feels sorry that the Valkyries are not going to get to have part of that experience, that they're left out. But at the same time, fuck them for trying to kill our teammate. And then he like sort of goes off on a tangent about like, you know, his time in the Commando Corps, fighting in New Colorado.
New Colorado. Greg, I'm picturing Greg, just like slowly walks into the background of his shots and is just like inadvertently photobombing him, like just standing there listening to him and looking at him like in the background of the shot.
For like a few fucking minutes.
Yeah.
It's not like the orbs have like screens on them, so you can't see whether he's even in shot.
Yeah.
So he definitely can't see you.
No, so like if Greg just like slowly walks a little closer over the course of a few minutes until he's like right behind him. That's very interesting.
Holy fucking oh god, man.
Why do you speak to the
He like
cameras like
lets
that?
go of the orb and like his hands flail in the air like he's trying to catch a falling camera. But the orb just sits exactly where it was. So like you hear his cybernetic fingers slam into the side of it as he's trying to catch the thing that isn't even falling. It's like, oh,
Oh my! I'm sorry. I didn't mean to startle you.
You did. You did.
I apologize.
You know,
Why-
it's fine. It's fine.
I'm just curious why you speak to the cameras. I've never seen anyone do that before.
Well, you know, I got fans. Well, there's a lot of thrash heads out there. You know, Hoolyites.
What? You should tell them to call themselves hooligans.
Or wind tunnels.
Yep.
Well, Greg, that would suggest a more criminal element. That's not what I'm going for. As a professional Raiderade competitor in their pro breaking and entering competition, I don't want to promote of hooliganism.
Of course.
Julio straight
That
edge.
seems sarcasm. I see.
You're all right, Greg. You're all right. Never change. Never change.
Can I ask you that statue you recovered? Was there anything else in the area?
No, just a lot of entrails.
Entrails.
Yeah, I mean, so we originally had looked for it in it. This isn't really related to my vlog. I already vlogged about this yesterday.
Oh, I'm sorry. We can't watch the
Wait,
feeds.
hang on. You said statue. The statue was found by TKS, not Julio. Julio's from the True Survivors.
Oh. Yeah.
They found the box.
Yeah, they found the box. Yeah. Never mind. Where did you find the? Oh, and they got that from the.
I got it from the communists.
Yeah. Okay, never mind. I got confused. I thought it was.
I also got confused. I just went along with it because I knew the thing you were talking about, and then was like, "Wait, no, this person doesn't have that information."
Yeah.
The statue.
In that case, I'm going to ask him. You've participated in this contest before, correct?
Yeah, man. This is like my fourth year.
How well do you know Scout Team 1?
Oh man, I remember when Scout Team 1 still competed. Those guys are fucking hardcore. They're like the Valkyries, but nice.
And you're not.
They go hard, or they go home. They go get freaky all night long.
Are you ever concerned about them? I'm worried about why they ever done anything like give people secret objectives before?
Well, the thing to remember about Scout Team 1 is that they own a lot of Raiderade, and in particular, a lot of the international adventure-based raiding race to the base competition. Like, a lot of the infrastructure we rely on is owned by them. In particular, we wouldn't even know where to fucking hit. We wouldn't have race sites if it weren't for them. We'd be out there like the fucking unprofessional newbie teams fucking trying to scrounge for scraps of secret bases and shit. Whereas we don't have to search for that shit now. We just get it given to us, and then we only have to worry about breaking and or entering. They're good guys, man. They got good heads on their shoulders. I like them. They're all right dudes.
But have they ever done anything like this before? Secret objectives?
I'm trying to think if there were any missions that had secret objectives. I don't think as like a formal part of the rules. I don't think we've had this before. But they've asked us to do stuff for them before. Like they asked us to keep an eye on the Valkyries not last heat, not last season, but not the last series, but the series before. The one where they got disqualified. We're kind of important in helping uncover that.
Right.
That
good work with that.
And and then the Valkyries being gone, that really helped us pull ahead last year. If they'd been in the race last year, there's no way we would have been able to take out the Mare Gardener's fortress. They would have got their way before us. They're just generally more prepared. But yeah. Anyway, we should probably get these fuckheads fed and
yes, let's get them going.
And pull down camp and try and work out how the fuck we're going to get out of here. Pretty thin on the ground in terms of exit strategy.
Yes, they didn't mention anything.
Yeah.
I suppose there are many Tunnels out.
Does anyone else do anything before before breakfast is wrapped up?
No, essentially like have breakfast and start and pack up the car, chuck the camping equipment in,
Yeah, you guys.
Greg is going to go
push
to
it
the
away.
check that it's
TKS
working.
All right.
and talk to one of them. Could you tell me more about where you found this statue?
You are talking to the engineer one, whose name escapes me. Takuma. I always find metal things to play with when I'm fucking live streaming.
Oh.
I'm just holding two things in my hand and like rubbing them together. Anyway.
You get one of those fidget cubes. Never mind.
No, I shouldn't. That's the problem.
Yeah, Takuma, can you tell me more about where you found that statue?
Yeah, so we pulled it out of like this creature's belly, but before that, we checked out like these ruins in like the jungle, like this old kind of museum or temple or something. We're told to bring back an idol, and we worked out that there'd been an animal there, and then we tracked the animal, killed it, and inside of it was the statue thing, the marble thing with the teeth in it.
Was
the
animal that gator crab thing you spoke of?
Yeah, the gator crab fucking
Ant
thing. Probably ant gator would be a better way to describe it. Oh man, I'm so hungover. I drink way too much rice wine.
Can I examine the teeth? What kind of teeth are they?
Human.
Okay. Humans do have a lot of teeth. It's a good resource.
Not as many as a shark.
That's true. Okay.
Or a South Chilean teeth worm.
I don't think that's a thing.
Not this earth.
Oh. Okay. Greg is very concerned, but doesn't have anything right now. So, yeah. Hey, Amriel. Come here.
What do you want, Cloud?
You've been alive for time immemorial, correct?
More or less, yes.
Do you recognize this multi-appendaged thing? Pointing to the statue.
Do I recognize it?
Kind of reminds you of a decoration that one of your bosses had in his torture, murder, sex palace back near the lake of endless, ceaseless horror. But, you know, nothing probably store-bought, you know. Hundreds of this kind of shit in palaces all around hell.
Really reminds me of something that you'd see around hell in one of the great generals' torture palaces.
You know, it's the equivalent of a decorative candle. You know, in terms of infernal decor, this is not a centerpiece. This is just something you have around.
It's like,
you know,
something
you use it to frame a centerpiece. You know, to add a bit of, to give the room a bit more pop.
A little pizzazz.
Like a vase full of lemons.
Yeah, it's like a bookend type of thing. Something you use to...
A vase full of lemons?
Yeah, a vase full of lemons.
Oh.
It adds a pop of color.
Yeah,
Right.
indeed.
And it gets people talking, that's for sure.
Yeah.
You guys have never seen a vase full of one fruit before?
Never lemons.
Not a vase, and definitely not lemons.
Well, lemons
Usually
have
they're like edible
are very
fruits.
bright colored
And fragrant.
and are fragrant and they keep for a while.
I can't say I've seen it personally, though, to be honest. I've never visited a house with a base full of lemons.
I have seen it in display homes and shit like that. People like selling homes. It's a decor thing.
Right.
Furniture shops.
Yeah, furniture shops.
Okay. Is it something that could be summoned?
I mean, not unless you're looking for something to frame your nice new angel head, I guess. I don't know.
Not the statue, the monster.
Not that I'm aware of, but can I make let's see, Arcana roll?
You can definitely make an Arcana roll.
Let's see. I don't have very much magical skill, but we will see how that goes.
Do I have
Okay.
How come Turnbull's house almost fell into a sinkhole in Sydney?
I do have Arcana. I'm going to make an Arcana roll too.
I'm at
You
plus.
get Arcana.
I have it at +1. It's not good.
That's
Yeah.
like the same as Amriel's Arcana.
That's what I have too. I'm at
one.
-1.
Bro,
So
I
don't
did
know
better.
shit.
I'm at 0.
Does anybody want to fucking spend?
I'm going to use my smartest cloud aspect.
All right, go for it.
So that puts me at +2.
So you answered your own question. You don't need me.
Yeah. Could it be summoned?
No, this is not a depiction of a monster. It's more
Okay. It's
a
just
depiction. It's just an aesthetic object. However, you do get the vague sense that there is a magical aura to this thing. So it may be a magical object.
Okay. All right.
Either it is a magical object or someone has used magic on it. But, yeah.
Okay. Greg's done. I'm sorry. I'm done.
Cool.
I'm just concerned that Scout Team 1 is going to send us to the moon and then summon a horrible hell monster to kill us all.
I mean, if they do, that'll make good television.
It would, and they'd get a lot of money from it because they own a majority, and they get to pick all the bases. So anytime we go and raid a base, we do it for them, and then Raiderade gets to keep half of everything. And
I mean, yes, but the thing to remember, and whether you choose to believe this or not, is that Scout Team's public image is such that they enjoy profiting from Raiderade, but and the base raiding, but like they are into adventure base raiding. This is their shit. They are passionate about it. If it wouldn't make money, they'd still do it. That's how much they care about it, you know.
So they're not secretly bad guys and have sent us to collect
They
parts.
totally
to kill
could
ourselves.
be. Totally could be. But I just want you to know that is, at the very least, their public image. Like, it's not even about profit for them. Profit is just the advantage.
Well, not profit, but they would get half of the stuff.
Oh, yeah, indeed. Like, they enjoy the profit. They're not, like, they don't turn down the money. But, like, they would do this whether it made money or not. Whereas the true survivors enjoy base raiding, but, like, they enjoy the lifestyle that it affords them from the wealth. Like, in off-season, the true survivors just fucking party. Like
Also, I figure if they murdered all of the contestants in the final of the race, they might have a hard time finding new contestants next year.
Indeed.
Well, I figured this would be the end because they are doing a thing. I don't know.
Right. They're going to summon a demon and control the world.
Their master plan, right?
I mean, could be. You know.
Could be. They would have snuck up on us.
I feel like I would have foreshadowed better.
Yeah.
But I could be trying to fuck with you. I could have not foreshadowed it because a well-planned villain wouldn't purposefully foreshadow.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, bad storytelling, but good actual villaining.
Ozymandias from Watchmen.
Yeah, indeed. That just
I'm only telling you my plan because I did it a half hour ago.
exactly. It's actually a pretty good villaining.
Yeah.
Would I tell you my plan if there was any chance that you could stop me?
Yeah. All right. Greg's done. I'm sorry. I've
All
delayed us long enough.
So, the last kind of thing of the run, you guys have packed up everything. The cloud's still hanging around, and then the little cameras. A few of them swarm over to. One swarms over to Yuri, another swarms over to Vic, and a third goes over to Takuma, and they all start saying the same message to you. Move towards, follow the beach of the western boiling sea, follow it north until you hit the rock wall. We'll be blowing a hole for you to extract. And they say this to you all, and then a few minutes later, as you're getting ready to roll out, I assume, they talk to you all again. All the cameras repeat this message. We have lost contact with the Valkyries. Would any of you like to volunteer to check if they are still alive?
Should I not?
Fine, Hamriel will go.
What even? Amriel.
Greg will go with her.
Yuri's like, seriously, Amriel, you're a demon. You have a moral justification for being immoral.
I'm a fucking demon.
And they have a sob story that's very similar to my own. I do have sympathy, just because
For the
I
devil?
don't have. Yes. Just because I don't have morality doesn't mean I don't have sympathy.
I retract my shoddy knot. Ethereals will go check.
The true survivors are like talking amongst themselves, and then Vic kind of calls out, "Hey, we're not going to come with you, but
Good call.
we'll wait for you guys. Do you need anything off of our trucks?" And then Vic kind of looks to Takuma like, "Yeah, do you guys need anything? I guess."
I think we're
Do you
good.
have anything that would make it easier to drive through the jungle?
Takuma kind of like scrunches up his face and then says, "Yes, I do." Then Takuma like starts shouting in Japanese at his two brothers, and you see them like all grab impact drills and start unbolting something from the bumper of their car. And then they, "Shit, we're gonna need a power source. Your car is petrol. This thing is electric."
Funny you should mention that.
You and Takuma begin working on jury rigging that thing into a fucking power thing.
Greg says, "You see," points to the metal box that has cooler written on it. This
It's
isn't
not.
actually a cooler.
Right. So you two, I'm not gonna make you roll because you did do.
It's hard to believe, but
So you put some fucking rods in there to turn the water so that you make a turbine so that as the angel heart heats the steam, it turns it into it turns the turbine and creates electricity. You make a miniature nuclear reactor. Well, yeah, indeed.
Yeah.
And as that's going on, Blacktop, Ayumi, and Kayuki are bolting on this weird kind of bumper thing onto the front of your car. And then Kayuki's shouting to you. Ayumi's talking to you. Yuri in Japanese.
Mhm.
Because you both speak Japanese, I'd hope. And he goes, all right, so the way this thing works is we call it a laser cow catcher. Basically,
I'm sorry, I
It
got way too
creates
excited
a
about that.
blade of energy in front of the car that will cut down anything that is in front of you. Now it uses a shit ton of power, and you can't drive through a wall with it, but it'll take out trees pretty nicely. Because trees don't have thick trunks. As long as you don't try to drive through an oak tree, like it'll cut down these palm trees pretty easily. You'll have to drive a bit slower if you run into any thicker trees, but it'll cut through any small vegetation like a hot knife through butter. Well, like a sun through butter, really.
Like a laser through some shrubbery.
Like a laser through a hedge.
I get you. Sounds sick as fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sounds awesome.
Thank you. I promise we'll bring it back in one piece so long as we come back in one piece.
Yeah, if it stops working, I wouldn't try and fix it. It's a pretty temperamental prototype. It took us 2 days to get it working after we hit a fucking onion tree. So, you know, if it stops working, just ignore it and do your best. So
Sounds good.
try not.
Would you like some gold as payment?
No, we don't have room on. We don't have room on our car for gold.
Well, I mean, you have room.
All
on your
right.
bumper.
Well,
So,
We'll see
so
you
your
guys
car
shortly.
is now a jumbled mess of new bumper and fucking nuclear reactor on your roof.
Yep.
Do you guys want any firearms or grenades or anything?
no,
Kind
we'll
of-
just head out.
Kind of what the true survivors have.
Grenades.
True survivors pretty much just have munitions.
Greg, what would it be to? Greg is going to take a hand grenade.
Greg takes a single hand grenade because he has hands.
Yes.
Alright, so you guys, yada yada yada, you cut through the forest, arrive at the Valky's camp, and it looks worse than before. Like you see a massive hole cut in the side of their armored car thing. Like it's probably an explosion caused it. Which is impressive. What with it being APC that they drove in here in. You search around. There's the remains of one of the Valkyries, and then you find.
Briefly before that, Yuri's like, "Oh well, they're all dead. We gotta go."
And as you say, "Oh well, they're all dead. We gotta go," you hear out. To you.
What direction do we have to go to get to them?
South,
Okay.
back towards where you came from. So you sort of went down the beach, and then you hear somebody calling to you from inside the wreckage. Hey! Help! Help!
Greg says,
Greg says, "Did you bump your mute button, Greg?"
"Yes,
Thank
yes,
you,
Greg
Meta.
did. Greg did." Greg says, why don't I go? If there's a trap, I'll be less likely to be injured."
Be my guest.
Yep.
So,
You float into the armored car, and laying there is
oh no, that's Bowie. It's Bowie.
Bowie.
over.
Bowie walks into
I'm in my
the
Bowie
into
scoop.
the armored car. Into
The explosion,
APC.
is it the metal bent in or out? Like, did it come from the
In.
inside of the car or the outside?
bent in?
So it can, okay.
And you see Amalia sitting there, which is not one of the two that you talked to earlier in the adventure. So Amalia is sitting there. She's a darker-skinned woman, strapped up in tactical gear. You see her black tactical gear looks darker than it should. And there's an axe sitting next to her, and her hand is is hovering over a shotgun that she doesn't seem capable of lifting. She's like, you gotta help, you gotta help them. They took
What
him.
happened?
They took him. They came for us in the night. We were getting ready, getting a last bit of sleep before we had to hike the fuck out of here. Because our car was still fucked. And they blew a hole in the goddamn car. The fucking indigenous population, motherfucker. They took the other girls. You've gotta save them. They only left like an hour ago.
Do you know why they took them?
I don't know. I don't speak Russian.
Did they take anything else?
They took our weapons. They came at us with fucking spears. And
how did they blow
one
us
hell
up?
of an explosive.
Oh, never mind.
It's like an anti-tank satchel charge or something. They just put it on the fucking wall and then boom. Lucky I'm not fucking dead, although we'll see how long that lasts. Oh, God.
I can stabilize your injuries.
And she points to a corpse in here with you.
So that makes 2 dead now?
Yes, 2 dead and this girl, which means that there's 3 missing.
Okay.
And then she says, Brun should have some regen. Just jam it in me.
All right, I'm going to pat down Brun. How does she have any regen?
You find several syringes of different colored liquids, and one has a bit of masking tape on it that says regen.
All right. Are these? What are these other? Do any of them have names on them?
One says spicy.
Oh God.
Another one says speed. And then another one, and another 2 just have plus signs on them.
We said I can text over the radio, right?
Sure.
Which takes longer. So I'm going to text Yuri and Amriel. Would you like some super soldier drugs?
I'm good personally.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right.
I'm good.
So I grab the regen, pull out the needle, and jam it into her.
She her eyes go wide, and you see some of her blood actually flow back into her. You see her fingers pop and crunch as she kind of moves her arms. She's like, oh, and then she starts fumbling around on her jacket. She's like, oh fuck, I need to get the calm down because this is gonna burn through pretty fucking quick.
Which one's the calm down?
And she pulls open her vest and pulls out another needle and just jams it in her neck. It's like, go, you gotta save them all.
Which direction?
She doesn't know.
Okay.
However, outside, what are you two doing?
Sitting in the
Greg
car.
does some triage. Yeah, just sitting in the car.
Being surly.
Real thorough search. Oh, look, they're all dead.
Oh, they're all dead.
Laser
Case
bumper
closed.
buzzing.
I guess Amriel is up and circling, looking for any signs of movement in the subterranean jungle around them.
Has Greg told you guys that the others have been taken?
I don't think so. Have you, Greg?
Yeah, I'll tell her. Them.
All right, Amriel, make me some kind of searching check or perception or awareness. It's awareness is the skill, isn't it?
I think it's alertness. I've got that.
Alertness! Fuck!
We always do this.
I always do have this problem.
Okay. I am going to spend
I think-
a fate point. I'm going to invoke Fallen Legionary because I'm a soldier and I would know how to reconnoiter. So that I don't roll a -2. I'm going to re-roll that. And that's much better. That's a +4.
Excellent. Oh, I kind of choked on my own tongue for a second there. Yeah, so you spot you assume a large herd of mammals, a large herd of something moving in the forest. You can't see the people, but you can see the trees and stuff moving as they move through it, and the shrubs. With the laser bumper, probably like 5 minutes away. If you go full speed and risk breaking the bumper. Otherwise, maybe half an hour.
I will point that out. I'll float above. I'll sort of hover if I can above Yuri in the car and say through the radio, "There's something moving in the jungle that way. If you make straight for it and turn on the laser bumper, I think you can get there in like 5 minutes."
Well, while I'm in no hurry to save the Valkyries, I sure want to get out of here. So let's roll.
Yeah, Greg comes back out. 3 of them were taken by the natives, most likely the ones in the city.
So you guys shoot through the forest, trees slicing and flying around you as you're going over bumps and jumps and launching through the underbrush. There ain't no sneaking up on folk in a laser bumpered Datsun 10,000.
A nuclear-powered laser Datsun 10,000?
Indeed. So, as you burst through the trees onto this onto this hunting party, describe to me in quick succession what happens. And we'll start with Amriel as the car bursts through the trees.
I feel like Amriel's probably going to stay flying and come down from above.
Mm-hmm.
So, what kind of formation are they in? Are they're ready for us?
They're not really ready for you. They were just trying to. They just kept on fucking. They changed from marching to fucking running. So they're like pushing their hostages through the underbrush and have been just trying to get as far from you as possible. They like went in different directions, but for the most part, still pretty close together. Yeah, because the Datsun 10,000, like they didn't hear it coming from very far away, but like when it was within like 200 meters, it was too late to do anything about it.
All right. In that case, Amriel swoops down on 1 or 2 of the indigenous Russians who are jostling the hostages and just like plucks them off the ground and puts them in a tree.
Yep, you just throw them into a tree as they slam into the wood. Yuri!
I essentially want to... We roar out of the woods into behind near them, Amriel swoops down, picks one up, and Yuri, I think, pulls like a handbrake turn so that it like a handbrake turn so the car like flicks to one side and like just hits one of the Russian guys with the side of the car. And then also essentially like in the same like 2 feet further comes to a stop, and I throw open the door to like where one of the Valkyries presumably was like being pushed ahead of him.
Yeah, you see
And then I'm like,
Oda.
"Get in."
You see Oda staring up at you as she like jumps into your car. Greg,
How many Russians are there?
a small amount, a handful.
A handful.
More than 10, but less than 20.
And where are the Valkyrs in their group?
Towards the car, for the most part.
How
There's
many
a
of the
lot more.
Valkyries is there?
3.
3.
Yep.
So if Greg were to say, throw a hand grenade, could he do it in such a way that it wouldn't hit the Valkyrs?
Definitely, if you throw it to the far side of the group. And
Then that's
a lot of them.
So while Yuri is driving by, Greg takes a single hand grenade and chucks it out the window.
You killed a man with a trident.
I saw that.
You throw the grenade, and then it explodes, and you see like body parts go everywhere, and then like you see one of the Valkyrs like strangling one of the guys, and another one just kicks them off and runs to your car, and like just tries to do the jump slide across the bonnet and gets like stuck halfway, and then like crawls the rest of the distance. And yeah, one of them's just choking them. It is Hildy, which I guess makes the other one Lewitt. Well, I guess one of the dead ones could be Lewitt.
Greg opens the door so they can get in.
Mm-hmm.
We should leave.
Does anybody shout at Hildy, who is choking a woman?
Greg says, we should leave.
She can't hear you over all the fucking...
I just lean on the horn.
She looks at you and like sprints to the car.
She looks at me and Yuri does like a shrug, like, "What the fuck are you doing? Get in."
And then once you're in and driving away, and my dog's still barking, Oda says, "What? Were there any survivors at the camp? They knocked me out. I woke up."
There was one.
There was one.
Whatever her name was.
Amalia.
Amriel, I get on the radio.
Yo,
Can you pick up the one at the camp? We didn't actually have enough seats.
all right.
Meet you at the where the 2 survivors are.
The camera next to you, Amriel, or the camera's swarming you, say, you are permitted to fly with... There will be no penalty for flying with the fallen Valkyrie.
Boy, thanks.
I didn't want you to not exfiltrate them just because you were worried about a penalty, so they wanted to clarify. And you guys rip ass to the exit as you see.
I feel like we tear away from this like wreckage. Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm like, take only valuables, leave only wreckage.
You see the wall explode before you, and Scout Team 1 is up there, and they're like, all right, let's saddle up and get out of this place, as they pick some of the Valkyries and put them in their car so that you guys don't have to travel with your sworn enemies.
Yeah.
And as they're moving off, Hildy's like, sort of does you're all right, I'm sorry nod.
I give her the finger.
In true Yuri style, and so I will give you guys your extra bit of information at the beginning of next run. which will be our moon base assault.
Sweet.
Pretty much, we'll have our little prep, which will probably be less prep than for previous ones.
Yeah, our prep will be we moonbase the car.
Yeah, we fucking get out the cork gun. We fucking seal it up. Hey,
I buy 20 tubes of no more gaps,
and there's no more gaps in the car.
and then done.
How does one make a oh man, combustion engines would be so shit for space travel. You burn up oxygen in your engine to work.
Yeah, you just have to get take oxygen tanks.
You know,
for your fucking engine. Good thing you're doing a nuclear conversion.
Mm-hmm.
if you want, you guys can ask Greg to borrow his spaceship.
Yeah, you could
Well,
just take
shit,
the
yeah, we
fucking
should take it for a
Might,
test
it
drive.
might not be
instead of
ready
the car.
for stellar travel yet, but I think you can make it to the moon.
Just take the fucking spaceship.
Well, we're definitely taking the car as a kind of Mars rover.
Oh yeah, of course. Put the car in the
Definitely.
spaceship.
But I think it would probably be easier to get to space with a spaceship.
Than with a Datsun.
I will tell you this much. Raider Raid's plan for getting you to the moon was that they have. So as previously established, teleporters that the Ideal have use point to point. So they have a receiving pad and transmission pad.
Right, yeah.
They landed a receiving pad on the moon, and they were just going to teleport you guys to the moon.
I prefer the spaceship idea.
I like the spaceship idea.
Yeah.
You do
Arrive in
you.
true ethereal style.
We're about to take off. Greg goes, all right, I think I've closed all the holes.
You move out of the atmosphere, and then
You're
everyone
just
else
you can hear
starts
this,
choking.
I missed one.
All right, brilliant. So that was a bit longer than normal, but I really there were things that had to be done, and they were done. It was a longer adventure than normal too. I think it's the longest adventure of the campaign.
Yeah, that was 4 games, right?
4
Yep.
games, and this one was 3 and a bit hours or something.
Yeah.
But yes, hopefully, it was still fun.
It was the strongest character development so far.
That's
Yeah.
true. A lot of character
Yeah.
development.
Mhm.
Oodles of it. Brilliant. So hopefully next week we'll be back with our conclusion. Yeah. Cool. Any thoughts?
No, I really like the Hollow
Mhm.
Earth.
It was,
I don't know what I'm going to call this adventure, because when I plotted out not the adventure, this run, because when I plotted out all the namings, I plotted them out for 3, so I'm like, oh, I know what I'll do. Hollow Earth, then I'll do Hollow Earth, Hollow Heroes, and then I'll do, Hollow Earth, Hollow Earth, Hollow Heroes, Hollow Victory, or whatever. Hollow Hearts, wasn't it? Yeah.
Hollow Hearts.
Hollow Calories.
Hollow Hearts, Hollow Victory. And then for this one, I couldn't think of a name when I was naming it earlier, so I just was like, Hollows.
How about Hollow Calories?
I feel like we should just keep building so it's Hollow Earth, Hollow Hearts, Hollow Victories, Hollow.
Hollow Kitty.
Hollow Kitty.
Sure.
That's funny, but not.
Maybe there's a very
not
good
relevant.
maybe there's a good cooking one.
Hollow
Stomachs.
Hollow Stomach.
Hollow Stomachs.
No, Hollow Victories, Full Bellies.
Hollow Victory, Full Bellies. All right, so the last one. So I'll be
That's
changing this to Full Bellies. And I will make a note of that for myself so that I remember to do it in a minute in the campaign notes. But brilliant. All right. Well, so yeah, cool. Ethan nuts. Sorry, Aethera nuts. Aethera nuts.
It's going to be the new superfood.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Once we grow. Oh, that's right. We have the whole island where we can grow them.
Yep.
Yes, you brought some back. You know that they grow in volcanic soil, so you already kind of have an advantage to try.
We're gonna start a whole
Nuts
plantation on New Georgia.
Yeah, you're a nuts plantation / spaceport.
I'm sure the New Georgians will be glad for a return to plantation living.
We're the best thing that's ever happened to the New Georgian economy.
All right. Well, that's it for tonight. I hope you enjoyed listening. Check us out on all of the social media. And if you'd like to help us out, please share our podcast with other people. Your recommendations and sharing, that's how people find the podcast, and that's how it helps us grow. And don't forget that we also have a Patreon now. But we'll always love to hear from you guys, so feel free to comment or tweet us or email us, and you can find us across all the social medias. I hope you enjoyed this. Farewell from the past. I'm Raymond.